it's been a month, so it's kind of hard to remember, right? I actually found myself, I had to literally kind of calm myself down today and sit down and write notes and say, all right, what in the heck were we doing last time? I'm going to go ahead and just pull our clock back here. There we go. So that we're not losing time for you guys.
I was kind of drunk, so I don't really remember.
There's Ryan.
Wait, no, that's my line.
Yeah, I don't quite remember. I think we were talking to somebody and fighting something, which really narrows it down, I know.
So we, let me ask you this. Does anybody else remember any specifics, or do you guys want me to do the rundown? Because I did spend some time today making some notes on it, because I'll be honest, I couldn't remember everything. And then because we lost the last recording, I didn't have that to go back to as a reminder. It's one of the reasons why I record all of these. I can cheat and go back and see what we did.
We were talking to some guy. He was like a monk or a black guy or something like that, or like a cleric or something. And then I think when we were talking to him, some stuff ran up from downstairs, and we went into the battle. That's all I remember.
That's pretty close. Anybody have anything they want to add?
Yes, that's what happened.
Exactly.
So we had a bunch of stuff happen in the last session. So we had been continuing on our path from the High Hall, where we had kind of cleared it out and met Faria, that cleric that was hiding in the basement, or in the main tombs. We had made our way in the previous session about halfway across Elturel toward the Grand Cemetery. You guys had that crazy fight with all the ghouls, where we got some fun magical items and potions and stuff off of their corpses. Then you had made it all the way to the actual Grand Cemetery. As you entered, the graves everywhere were excavated. It was a kind of a complete mess. There were zombies and skeletons standing everywhere, all around the once pristine cemetery grounds and the chapel. In the center of the cemetery, there was that large chapel dedicated to a number of the gods of Elturel, like Torm, Helm, Lathander. And as you begin to approach, you guys were attacked by that large group of Minotaur Skeletons, as you may recall. You defeated all of them, and then we decided to have our favorite rogue go off, kind of checking out the building. He found a bunch of broken windows, and when looking in, he found a chapel to Lathander. He came back, he explained what he saw. You guys had him and Castiel go off to see if they could find anything in that chapel. They snuck in through the windows, and Moon was struck by this one glass window that hadn't been broken and blown out like everything else in the chapel was, and it depicted Lathander, the Lord of Morning, standing over a battlefield, raising the dead to follow him. And he offered up a prayer, and in doing so, Lathander spoke to him and then presented him with a magical weapon known as the Rose of Lathander. It's this dark rapier with a rose vine wrapped handle. While in there, kind of seeing in through the curtains around the vestment area, he realized looks like there were some devils inside, these multi-armed, bug-faced looking creatures. He came out, reported to you guys. Everybody decided to move up and in. As you came in, you could hear a heavy voice, kind of thick voice, talking with the creatures. I think Olin and Severius were able to identify what it was. They were speaking in Infernal, and they were talking about how they're hearing more and more noises from the basement. They're afraid that, the demons have found some kind of way up through the ossuary to be able to break into Elturel. And the heavy voice was telling them to, be prepared to defend it. A couple of you went in and began talking, and it was this really tall, kind of dreadlocked, dark-skinned man that was talking to the creatures. I think you guys were able to identify the creatures, which were, let's see here. So those were the creatures that were in there, the multi-armed with the tridents. Those were Mezzaloths, which are devils from the Nine Hells. But you were able to see this gentleman, who you can see has kind of glowing red eyes, and his nails are a little bit funky. But what you found is that he had like that golden plate that holds his cloak on, and his kind of cords of office around him. One of you was able to identify that it was a sign of Zariel, the Archduke of this level of hell, the Archduke of Avernus. So you had begun to talk with him. He was asking who you were and why you were here. I think you guys had asked some questions about, who's responsible for all the undead outside. That's one of the reasons why we came here. Remember, we're looking for Duke Ravengard, and we're trying to find out why are there so many undead creatures come pouring out of this graveyard. As you begin to talk with him, he and Castiel had a bit of a bad conversation. Severius was able to kind of turn that back around a little bit. But in the middle of it, combat broke out. A group of creatures came flying up the stairs. Gideon advised the Mezzaloths to attack. You guys all kind of piled in, and it looked like you guys were all kind of fighting on the same side. And it was a bunch of ape-like demons called Dretches, a giant scorpion that came funneling up out of the darkened staircase. And we had some poisoning going on. We had a rough combat session, but you guys were able to stand victorious at the end of it. The few things we did find, however, were that, Castiel had broken his hand, but was able to land that final devastating blow. And that's kind of where we paused, right? Where we were lining back up to kind of continue that conversation with Gideon. So with that, I'm going to jump us back over to where we left off. Does anybody have anything they want to follow up on? Any questions that you guys had? Anything you need to do with your characters or questions about your characters before we jump over and get back into it?
I wasn't seeing any pictures. I'm refreshing.
Did anybody else see the pictures?
No pictures.
Are we supposed to be seeing something?
I screwed up. So that was, did you guys see that one?
Yes.
Now we do.
Yeah, so that was the Mezzaloths. And this is Gideon. My apologies. I have cleaned up a little bit of what I had in Foundry, so I've removed a number of mods to try to help with load times. So I've got a couple different button clicks now that I didn't have before. So those were the Mezzaloths. That was Gideon, the guy that you guys had been talking to. I'm going to jump us back over. And this is where we were at the end of the last session. With one exception. I don't have Castiel on the map. I can place him back. Do we want to... So the question is for the group. Since Gary's not going to continue playing in the campaign, I think it's better if we remove him and just cut back down to 5 players. You guys are at a level now where the 5 of you should be able to take on most of the stuff I want to throw at you. It may be a little bit more dangerous because we have lost one of our, frontline damage dealers, but I'm positive that you guys can figure out how to overcome those challenges. I don't know how he wanted the character removed. His suggestion was just to go ahead and kill him. I'm open to suggestions from you guys about what you'd like to do here, because it's your party, it's your game. What would we like to do with our former monk?
Well, I think that what would be most fitting would be that he would somehow manage to run
Off the
headstrong
cliff?
into either battle or something, because that was what he normally did.
We could certainly do that. We could have it be that, his choice as he stands here with a broken hand, covered in dretch and giant scorpion blood, that he decides that he has had enough of this group and he is going to go search for his holy book on his own. That can certainly be his choice to do so, and we can wish him luck as he goes. What I will say is that I pulled all of the gear that he had on the character and put it into the group bank, so that there are some healing potions there. He has picked up. He had some magical items that he had picked up, or silvered items as well, I should say. So I don't want to take those away from the party, unless you guys want to say he takes all of it with him and rides off into the sunset.
I think he would just, when we get into battle, he would run headfirst into an axe or something like that.
All right. So if you want, what I can do is pop him back onto the map where he was, and we can. He is badly injured.
If you want, you could just say, when he shattered a bone in his hand, it nicked a vein and he bled out.
Yeah, that works too.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to have him go running into battle and just see what happens if he just kind of goes all out, we can certainly do that. I know Nikki had some fun running his character last time. I'm more than willing to let her take him on a suicide run if she is inclined to do so.
Journey of discovery.
I like that journey for you. All right, so we find ourselves here. We're unpaused. Corey should be joining us in, let's say, 45 minutes to an hour. I will help move him around and cast stuff and all that kind of fun things if you guys want to. I'm just kind of taking a quick look at the party, and it looks like so Cassiel is just over 50% of his health. It looks like Severius took some damage but still has over 40 hit points. Olin is also badly injured, but it looks like Moon, Audrey, and Alatar are all barely injured or not injured. If I look at, I will say Corey's starting to run low on spell slots. He's only got one level 1 left, 2 level 2, 2 level 3. So I don't know if you guys want to talk about healing or that kind of thing, but you do have this this gentleman up here with his 2 Mezzaloths standing in front of Severius. The Mezzaloths slowly kind of move to align themselves behind them, standing at attention. He looks at the rest of you and states, "You were far more capable than I would have expected. I see we have a common enemy in these demons that are trying to take the city."
Do you know where the demons are coming from?
So they had so this is aside from him, but the demons came up this staircase right here. And there is a doorway here at the very bottom that you guys could go through. I will warn you, that's one of those trigger mats. If you go to it, it's going to take you to the next map. It'll take you downstairs. But to your question to Gideon, he'll reply, they seem to be coming from everywhere, but of late, we keep hearing rumblings from the Ossuary below. Many of them have been trying to forcibly come up through the stairs. It's why I've set guards here to ensure that it doesn't happen.
It looks like we're going to head down there to the ossuary then. Would you accompany us? And we can form a truce for now.
Just see here real quick. I just want to try something because it's part of what's in Sirenscape. Tell me if you guys hear this.
Thank you for your help defeating these demonic intruders. I have devoted my life to eradicating demons. and I will not rest until Elturel is rid of them all.
That sounded nothing like your voice.
No, I wish I could do that. I can roll my R's, but I don't think I can do a mixture of like, what would you say that is? Like Eastern European versus meets Jamaican?
No, it's the guy from Constantine who plays the devil.
Elturel. Demonic influences. So he is, very clearly stated that he simply wants to defend Elturel at all costs from these demons. If you all choose to go into the Ossuary to track after them, by all means, feel free to do so. I can send one of my guardsmen here with you, and he points at the Mesoloths behind him, and one kind of chatters and clicks a little bit. Though it would seem to me that the 6 of you should be more than capable. What brings you to my cemetery?
We're looking for a compatriot, Lord Ravengard.
Ravengard, he is down there. He and a band of armed humans entered the Ossuary earlier. But now, nothing but demons are crawling their way out from those depths. They must be in league with them.
I gave Ravengard free passage to move down there, but he has been gone for almost 2 days, and now demons come rolling up from the ossuary.
If demons are coming from the ossuary, I doubt that it's because of Ravengard. It means likely that he has failed whatever he was attempting.
So, all I know is that the man did go down. If you're looking for him, that's the only suggestion that I have for you. Otherwise, it would please me if you were to leave this cemetery. I have works to complete.
If you give us passage, we will try to retrieve our friends, and then you can have the area to yourself.
You have stated your case, and I believe you will uphold your word. I will let you pass. Myself, I will stand guard here. I will do all I can to prevent those spawn from entering our lands.
I'm just moving everybody up so you guys can kind of see who Severius is talking to here. So just as a quick reminder, one of our changes is that I'm not going to do a marching order every time, just that you guys can have free movement. So if you want to move your characters around and check stuff out, that kind of thing, you are more than able to do so because the game is not paused. Otherwise, I will just kind of drag you guys to the key beats. It's up to you how you want to play it. I'm fine either way. So those of you that want to explore can do so. Those of you that you want to kick back and wait until we get to combat can do that as well. So Gideon's fine. If you guys want to go down, he'll keep a guard up here for you. You can feel free to go down and search through the ossuary, but he gives you a clear warning. You know that demons have been coming up out of it, so you may want to be on your guard. And I'll ask you, is there anything else that you want to know about the ossuary?
Have any questions?
Maybe something like, how it's laid out. Are there any hazards that we should be aware of down there that were in place before the demons started coming up? Things like that, maybe?
All excellent questions. So, he is going to advise you. The Ossuary is basically a series of crypts and like preparation rooms for bodies. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there. As you first ascend, you'll come across a workroom, a workshop, where former priests and acolytes of this temple would prepare bodies for final interment. An ossuary is basically like it's a huge burial area. But there are a series of rooms and some twisting pathways. It is not a massive underground area, but I have no idea where you will find Ravengard below. Chances are it will be beyond the workshop, considering what just came crawling up those stairs.
Moon's gonna kind of look over at Severius and kind of whisper, we're pretty, as a group, battle weary at this point. Would it be wise to rest before going down, or do you think we might be able to rest soon? I'm thinking more spells, things like that, resources that we've used.
I wouldn't be opposed to resting. It might be better to rest here than down there.
I need all the rest.
So I will say that in order to get spell slots back, that kind of thing, we would have to do a long rest, which is at least 8 hours. A short rest will get you guys the ability to roll back some hit points. When you guys are talking about trying to do a rest, how long are we trying to talk here?
I was thinking a full long rest for the spellcasters. I just don't know if this gentleman will let us do it here, as he's told us to leave, or if we can convince him of, be able to, out of the way kind of a thing before we descend into the demon-infested place. If you want, I can try to do persuasion or something to convince him to, since he's asked us to leave, to let us rest kind of maybe, down this south area out of the way kind of a thing, so we won't be a bother before we descend to try to remove the demon threat.
Yeah, if you would like to try to persuade him, you can certainly do so. That is gonna be a 20. Let's see here. What can Mr. Gideon do for you guys? We're in the... I'm just trying to see if it lists any additional information that he could give you guys. So he is letting you temporarily ally with him. Let me see. Okay, so he is going to, that is going to absolutely, that's above the DC they had set on him. Yep, DC 15. So you've got a 20, so you can absolutely ask him if there is a place that you guys could stay. It looks like, considering that he has accepted and agreed to this this alliance for you guys to go downstairs, that he would let you guys rest here in the cemetery if you want. He tells you that he can have his two guardsmen, the Mezzoloth, watch over you if you want to stay here in the vestments area. There isn't much else in the chapel that's inside that you guys would have a comfortable place to stay, but you could certainly try to rest here if you want to.
I think that's a good plan, as long as we are not in the way of your works that you had mentioned.
So what he's going to do is he is going to have one Mezzoloth go up here. He's going to have the other one go over here, because that lets him see all the different doorways. And he is going to tell you, to make yourselves as comfortable as you can. But I would suggest that you don't take too much time before you make your way down into the ossuary. The longer you leave your friends down there, the less likely it is that they'll be coming back. I am going to go back to my laboratory. My Mezzoloths will let me know. My servants will let me know when you have returned. If you return. And he is going to make his way out and let you guys have the space. Do that. Good. So if you guys want to move up into the room and kind of take a rest up in here, you are more than welcome to do so. I will move Corey and Castiel up here. Let's bring Lulu and Ye Olde Snufflechops along as well. Looks like Dig and Nikki are right at the doorway, so they're in the room as well. So, okay, if you guys would like to take a full rest, you can certainly do so. I will go ahead and do a long rest on Olin. So, and we are going to say it's going to be a new day, because the clock is gonna trip here, because we will go past our 24-hour clock. So, you guys remember how to do long rests? Character sheet, upper left-hand corner, you've got the little bed. If you highlight over it, it will give you short rest and long rest. So that's Olin. I'll do Castiel for us as well.
I think I've got someone beneath me dead, so I can't access my character sheet.
Nope. Try it now.
Seems better, maybe.
We just need Severius and Alatar.
I'm having some technical difficulty.
Is it just not?
I'm just checking my spells real quick. Yeah. If it's blue, highlighted blue, that means it's prepared.
Yeah. So
I highlighted green and highlighted blue.
Yeah. So if it's blue or green, that means it's either prepared, or it's one of the ones that you get automatically. Because of your class.
Gotcha. Okay.
I can't seem to access my character sheet.
When you double click on your token, it doesn't open it up?
No, it is not.
Are you on the basic controls on select token?
Yes, sir, I am.
You could try going through the menu on the right, that player guide or whatever.
Yeah, I'll do that.
It should let you into it. I don't have you under or over anything. Here, just to be safe, I'll move you guys all the way up into the room.
And we're doing a short, you said a short or long rest?
Long rest. You guys are getting a full 8 hours.
Long rest. Long.
Okay. That's 8 hours right there. So it is currently the middle of the morning, or late at night, I should say. It's only just about 2:30 a.m. So it's going to be dark as shit in here.
I can see just fine. It's okay.
Because there's not a whole lot of lights. Would we like to have Castiel carry a torch? We've already got Audrey doing dancing lights.
I can see, so I'm fine.
I can see.
I mean, I imagine Castiel can, but I guess if he stays within the dance,
he's got boo-boo hand.
do that. There we go. Yeah, so, well, with that long rest and the healing, Castiel should be okay now. That's going to heal him up. I did want to check one other thing. We had... I'm trying to remember. One of you had been... it should have cleared. I'm just making sure. We had one of you that had exhaustion, I think because of some of the poisoning. Yeah, I'm not seeing it anybody, so everybody should be good. Yep. Just making sure. I open dig. Yeah, dig's good too. Okay, so everybody's healed up. Everybody should have all of their spell slots. Everybody should have all of their hit points. So at this point, it's, middle of the night. It's kind of nice and quiet out there. The Mesoloths are still kind of quietly keeping guard. You can see this one out here. Every now and then he passes by the curtain as he walks around, kind of pacing, checking the doors, that kind of thing. So you guys have been pretty well. I'm just going to clear these out of the way here so that we don't have to worry about the bodies, because we had a bunch of them. You guys had a relatively calm and quiet night, though I will say if you kept any kind of a guard or if anybody was paying attention, you do hear a lot of shambling and moaning from outside. All of those zombies and skeletons that have been around the grave sites, you can hear them. You hear the rattling of bones. You hear the moaning of the wind as it passes through their open chest cavities. You hear the sloshing sound of rotting flesh as it slides off of the zombies. All of it in the distance, all of it outside the walls, none of it coming any closer. But you know that even though you have slept and rested soundly here in this chapel, you are surrounded by the forces of undead. What would you guys like to do?
Well, I guess the plan was to go down. So would you like me to scout it out first or just head down in total? Cool.
If you could scout ahead, that would be very convenient, Moon.
So as you guys go down the stairs,
sneaky.
When you get to the very bottom, it should port you over into the next map. So if you go down there,
I actually can't move down the stairs at all.
There you go.
I think there's a wall there or something.
Oh, I'm not sure why that did that. Let me fix it. Boom. Should only be to there. There you go.
Cue sneaky rogue.
Okay, so it looks like Andrew's jumping over the other side. I'm just going to simply move Corey and Castiel here over to the stairs. I will leave... Or I can drag you guys over as well. Why not make it easier for everybody? You're all on the staircase now, so you should be able to kind of see your way down to the bottom of the stairs, which will jump you over. I'm going to go...
It's a very small area.
Yes.
Do I hear anything on the other side of this door? I can make a perception check or whatever you want to make.
I'm just kind of pulling folks over here.
Yeah, I was just thinking to try to find more space. I wouldn't open the door randomly, but
yep. Just because it's gonna be so. If you want to do a check on the door, you certainly can.
Perception or investigation? I can never remember which one.
I will let you choose, sir. It depends on which you would rather use, and all that I ask is, depending upon which way you choose, kind of explain to me how you're using it. For me, investigation is deductive reasoning. Perception is the use of your senses to figure things out. So I was
just gonna literally put my ear to the door and see if I hear anything through it, or see anything through a keyhole or whatever it may be.
No keyhole. It is a solidly built door. As you listen to it, you don't hear anything from the other side. It is completely quiet, as if you were listening to the door of a tomb.
Neat. Well, conveniently enough, as that quietly, I am going to open it. Or at least try to.
Go ahead. Yep. Should be able to open up for you. So as you look in, I'm going to, just to kind of make things a little bit easier for folks, I'm going to pull everybody else just down here next to the stairs.
Yeah, I was going to go get him if I didn't see anything here.
Yep. There's nothing right here that you guys have got to be like super duper worried about. So that's 1, 2. I think we still need Severius. And we still need Castiel. And I'll pull the, we need Lulu. And we need Snufflechops. So as you guys come into the room, and I've got to do that for Audrey so she can see. And we will say that Castiel fancies himself a torch, because that's usually what he does. So you guys out here in the hallway will see you came down the staircase, which is back here behind you. You're standing in front of a door. Directly ahead of you at the door across this room, you see Severius and we're just going to go ahead and move Castiel and Olin in there as well. You see Moon and Severius around the next door. Upon entering this room, all of you have the coppery scent of blood enter into your nose, and you can almost taste it on your tongue. But given what you see, the odor is very old and milder than you would expect. The workshop appears to be where priests and acolytes would prepare dead bodies for final interment. The place has been ransacked. There are knives, saws, piping, and tubes littering the floor. Acid and other embalming fluids are pooled everywhere around the room amid a field of shattered flasks and jars. So what you see here kind of around the outside of the room, these gray stone steps are leading up to embalming tables, and all of this like green fluid and stuff you guys see on the floor, that's that spilled embalming fluid and some of the acid, the things that they would use to help prepare the bodies.
Moon's gonna come over to this other door and make another check just to see if he hears anything.
Evening, everybody.
Hey,
Corey.
Hello.
Boy, I'm consistent on these perceptions.
Yep. So you don't hear anything from the other side of the door. It has a regular handle. It's the doors down here are all made out of stout oaken planks with iron crossbars. There is some kind of intricate carvings in the doors, depicting scenes of Lathander or Torm, or some of it might be carved scripture from the different worships of those gods. Again, this used to once be a very peaceful temple, and the people that were down here would be some of the most faithful of the citizens of Elturel. You don't hear anything from the other side. It's just a stout oaken door, and if you want to try to open it, you can certainly feel free to click on it. I am just going to pause this there real quick just to get Corey up to speed. We had a conversation with Gideon Lightward. He was the tall, dreadlocked, dark-skinned man that we met at the end of the last session, who was talking to the two Mezzoloths about defending the stairs. The three of them had fought with you guys against the Dretches and the giant scorpion that had come up the stairs out of the basement. The conversation went well. He thanked everybody for helping to fight against the demons. He made it very clear that his entire purpose here is to defend Elturel against the demons at any cost. Moon was able to persuade him to let you guys take a rest in that vestment chamber. He had the Mezzoloths watch over you guys for your 8-hour rest, so you will notice you have all of your spell slots and healing points, and health points, back. And then we made our way down. This is the very first room in the ossuary below the main chapel. One other quick fact that Gideon had shared is that 2 days ago, Duke Ravengard and a retinue of his veterans had arrived here. He had met with them and given them safe passage down into the ossuary. They said that they were seeking some kind of holy relic that they believed was below. They have never come back up. Gideon seemed to laugh a little bit, thinking that if the demons are coming up the stairs, chances are your friends are no longer alive. But he gave us free passage to go down and see if we could find them. And here we are in that very first room. And this is it's kind of an embalming room where they prepare the bodies for internment in the ossuary.
All right. Let's get into some shit.
Let's wreck it up. All right, so you don't hear anything crazy from the door. You don't see any traps or that kind of thing. If you want to open it up and continue on, you certainly can.
I will wait till it is unpaused.
There you go, sir. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me. So as you look out, what you see here is a darkened hallway that leads ahead of you. So you guys are going to find that it is very dark down here. Unless you want to light additional torches, candles, that kind of thing, you can certainly feel free to use your dark vision. But what you will notice is that as you move away from the light again, it's going to do that change to like black and white and then like a green tint to let you know that you're no longer seeing in the color spectrum. So kind of at the edges of your vision here, Moon, as you step forward, through that door, you close your eyes a little bit, letting them adjust back to dark vision, because again, you've got the dancing lights and the torch from Castiel and Audrey behind you. You see that the tunnel immediately splits to the left and the right ahead of you. The tunnel itself is 10 feet wide. There are a series of steps that lead further down to it. It is about 5 feet below where you're currently standing in the workshop.
All right, continuing with my stealthiness, I'm gonna move forward a bit.
Okay. As you get to that corner, you see that
a little farther than I wanted to. Sorry.
No, that's okay. As you get to the corner and look left and right, you can see that the tunnel continues in both directions. Which way will lead you to what you're looking for? You're going to have to search around and kind of figure it out.
Well, initial thoughts as we were trying to follow somebody. Are there any tracks that looks like it was human and not demon around here?
Let me have you. Okay, so again, investigation or perception. Investigation if you want to try to use deductive reasoning to see which way, if you find some steps to figure out which way they might be going, or perception if you want to just see if you find a trail of steps. I am going to set slightly different difficulty checks depending upon which of the two you select.
Okay. I'll stick with my perception and see if I can do better than a 14.
Okay.
I do worse.
So you don't see anything that indicates where folks might have been. Yeah, you're not seeing anything kind of in or out of the room. But I'm going to have you pause there as you're kind of searching around and see, does anyone else on the group here want to move up, have questions, want to do any rolls, searches? What would everybody else like to do?
Anyone want to search this room? Exactly known for my perception, so.
Yeah, I'm probably, searching this room would be investigation, yeah?
Again, it depends on how you want to search. If you are trying to find... It's funny, I now had this conversation a couple times in the last few days, but for me, if you read how investigation and perception are both described, investigation is really, it's deductive reasoning. It's trying to look at things and saying, okay, well, this plus that equals this. That gives me the information I was looking for. Whereas perception is much more just about your basic 5 senses. Can you touch it, taste it, see it, hear it? All of that fun kind of stuff. So if you want to search around for stuff, I'm fine using either skill. I just ask that you role play for me exactly how it is that you're using it, and if that makes sense. And again, sometimes I will set slightly different difficulty checks depending upon which one you select and what you're trying to find. For example, Moon just rolled perception. He could have also rolled investigation. He also could have rolled survival. Survival can be used for tracking and finding footprints, that kind of thing. So I want you guys to have a little bit of player agency, and you can certainly argue with me about which you would like to use. So if you have a higher investigation score or a higher perception score to search, just describe to me how you're doing it.
All right, well, yeah, Olin will look around this chamber and see if there's anything that looks like it would be of use in this foray deeper.
Okay. So go ahead and roll perception for me, since we're looking around.
Wah, wah, wah.
So Olin looks around, and you don't really seem to find anything of use. It looks like the room has really already been ransacked. Most of the shelves have had all of the embalming fluids and tools knocked off of them. Some of the delicate steel and iron tools that would be used have been bent and broken cruelly. On the floor around you, you see puddles of acid etching its way into the stone. You can smell that coppery tang of blood and embalming fluid, its acrid stench from the other puddles around. So you're not seeing anything really of use or value. This room has been pretty well ransacked and destroyed.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Sure, I'll do it.
Right.
I'll do perception.
And when I'm asking that could also be, I'm going to move up and catch up to our rogue. That could be, it's anything you want to do here. All right. So as Severius looks around, you don't see, again, you're not finding anything of use in here. You're not finding any tools or treasure, that kind of thing. It's all basically broken glass and broken embalming tools. But what you do find is that there is a set of tracks kind of lightly going through a puddle of embalming fluid. With that high of a roll, you're able to determine it looks like multiple demons ran through this puddle. You can also see a set of older, the tracks have dried a bit, but there's still a little bit of an outline showing that a group of booted humanoid figures went in the opposite direction. So what you're seeing is that it looks like a group of demons came through recently going up the stairs, and there are older tracks showing booted humanoids going further into the ossuary.
Can I continue to follow the tracks?
We certainly can. What I'll have you do, I'm going to set so now that you've found them, I'm going to set a difficulty of, because it's dark, because you're using dark vision down here, I'm going to set a difficulty check kind of in between easy and difficult. Let's say that DC is going to be a 14. So not quite all the way up to a top end of it here. And for that, I will let you continue to either use perception, investigation, or survival skills. So if one of those is, or if you have a different skill that you want to use and you can make a good argument for it, I will certainly hear it. But those three can all be used for tracking and trying to find additional footprints or markings that something has come through here.
I'd like to use persuasion. I would like to talk to the footprints and have them tell me which way they go.
I would allow it, but the difficulty is going to be set really high to get a footprint to talk back to you.
Yeah, you can always try.
I mean, I'm never going to tell you not to roll the dice, but the DC might be significantly higher than what would be statistically possible on a D20.
It's a 47.
You have come across some magical footprints that begin singing like Disney characters. This way, this way. The fucking monsters are this way.
I'm leaving. I don't want to go that way.
Move on with no delay. The monsters are this way.
Live action Beauty and the Beast.
I'd like to roll an attack against a footprint, please.
Alrighty. So, I'm gonna have Castiel kind of just stay up here with Moon as he goes.
No, the light.
He can certainly kill it if you want him to. He won't be
able to see then.
Or we can have him and Audrey kind of stay toward the back. I will let you guys choose how you want to do it. You are absolutely correct. So you've got two of them who can't see a thing in the dark without their spell or a torch. The rest of you have dark vision. Obviously there are pluses and negatives to that. If you have a torchbearer out front, anything else that it's seeing in the dark might see you coming down a hallway.
That's my thought. If I can stay in the darkness, I might have an advantage.
Yeah, and you are, if I move him back one, you were just outside of his brightness range, I think. Yeah, so it's just you're still getting a little bit of flickering from him. If I move him back, yeah, that's why it kind of goes to gray and then green. So if I'm okay with doing that with Castiel because he's not here, there's no character playing him. But I will let Audrey choose where she wants to be in the marching order in terms of how you guys move down these hallways. But
I'll stay on the tail end.
Okay. So
With the bright lights.
Okay, it sounds like Severius, Alatar, and Moon have kind of moved up a little bit. Does Alatar want to do anything as he moves up to that point? You can see Severius is kind of carefully trying to track these footprints. As you move up to the stairs, he puts one hand out and kind of points down to the ground so that you don't walk through the tracks and disturb them, so that he'll be able to keep trying to roll and follow them. Yeah, if Olin wants to move up and kind of go with him as well, he can certainly do so. Up at the front there, what would you guys like to do? You've got a T passage, left or right. You can go east or west.
Which one we want?
Alatar wants to smell which way the footpaths go.
That's perception.
Who just closed the door and left Audrey and Castiel behind?
That was an accident.
Okay, so we've got... You guys are slowly moving out into the ossuary proper here.
Any opinions on which way I scout next?
I'm gonna roll.
Okay. Do you want to move up and see if you can see if it's going left or right?
I say right.
I know nothing about the track, so I have no idea.
Yeah. So you follow them up to this point. If you want to see if they go left or right, I'm gonna have you do another roll. But just let me know. So we'll say it's a 14. And you can pick which of those 3 skills you want to use: survival, perception, or investigation. Okay, so
Oh, I thought that was a 20.
It was initially, but it continued to roll. So with that, you're able to follow the footprints to this point, but the lack of light is keeping you from being able to see it. You realize that the magical lights that Audrey is using, the dancing lights to be able to see, that the flickering was letting you pick out the tracks in the embalming fluid that they had walked through. Without something flickering on it up here, it's impossible for you to see.
So we're sticking with
rolled
right?
a d6. Well, I rolled a d6 and 1 to 3 was right. So I don't care. I said right.
Right it is.
All right.
Sneaky.
Yep. So as you get up to that point, so you can see that it takes a hard left turn. You can see that there are empty torch holders or braziers here on the wall. There is dried ash and smoke stains from where the torches used to be, but there is nothing there now. The tunnel continues ahead of you, and you can see that. So again, you came down about 5 feet down those stairs to the top of this, and then you have now come down another 5 feet. So you were descending lower. You do see that it comes up to this point, but takes another hard turn.
All right, I'll motion back. I guess the only person I can see is Sirius, and just kind of, motion, looks clear, come on, and I'm going to keep moving.
Okay, so you go ahead and move up to where you kind of want to stop. I will let Severius move. I will let all of you move your characters. If you want, though, I can pull Audrey and Castiel to the end point where their light won't impact the dark vision, and just kind of help you guys along the way, if that helps.
Yes,
for the record, as soon as I get here, I'm going to motion for them to stop because I see light. And that makes me think there's things ahead.
Okay. So you do begin to see the faint edges of flickering torchlight or candlelight, some kind of light ahead of you. You can see that again. There are another small set of stairs going down another 5 feet along this worked stone tunnel. You can see ahead of you as it begins to turn to the right. that there is candlelight or torchlight, something flickering in the distance. So as you do that, I'm going to move these 4 up to here, because their light won't go around the corner and mess you up. Oop, to there.
I'm about to move anyway.
Yep. So as you come around that corner, you see a giant vault that opens up ahead of you. You don't see anything in the room thus far, but as you look into it, your dark vision readjusting back to the light, because you can see that there are multiple candelabras lit in here. What you see is a large room. Tapestries that were once vibrant red hang, now faded and slashed on the walls. It looks like people have taken daggers and swords to these tapestries to destroy them. The braziers lining the vault, some of them are burning with a flickering light along the edges of the ancient stone. You can see that it is a curved room that has some broken support pillars and statuary inside. As you look in, you see that the ceiling soars up above you, and it is supported by a cracked and broken arches that once were carved with these incredibly detailed and beautiful reliefs of historical events, famous battles, all the glories of Elturel, the great triumphs and even greater calamities of this once fabled city. You can see the floor is covered in broken stone and rubble, where those arches have cracked and broken and fallen down below. Most likely evidence of the earthquakes shaking and threatening to destroy the city. If you want to step up into it, you can certainly look for more, check the area out, that kind of thing, but just kind of looking in from the dark, that's what you can see from that point.
But I see nor hear any creatures.
With your passive perception, I'm not even going to have you roll because you get an 18. You don't hear any creatures, you don't hear anything moving. It's just the flickering candlelight, and every now and then, like dropping stone falling from the cracked pieces overhead. As you have stepped forward, you can see there are still some large pillars that go up to that ceiling. So even though some of the arches have cracked and crumbled, the ceiling is still being supported by these massive, 10-foot wide circular pillars that go down the middle of the room. With where you're standing, you can begin to see where the room curves again toward the far end. But the pillars running along the center of the room obscure some of your view. Part of what you do see, however, is that there are ancient statues on both sides of the room, or what were once ancient statues. You see that there are broken pieces of marble statues kind of crumbled in on themselves, standing atop these raised stone daises. The statues that you can see are all kind of unrecognizable at this point. Their features badly marred by all of the falling rock and debris that have crashed down upon them, breaking off limbs, cracking the marble and causing it to fall, cracking even further as it shatters against the hard stone floor beneath it. It's difficult to tell what these may have once been.
Okay, I'm gonna whisper back to the group. I don't see anything, but be on your guard. I'm gonna keep taking more of a look.
Okay. If you guys want to move up into the room, I will certainly let you do so. What I will say is that with Moon's natural kind of passive perception, he's not hearing any footsteps or breathing, and because he's on guard, he's not picking up the sounds of anything other than some of that falling rock every now and then that kind of comes down. So I'm going to move our light bearers up and into the room because there's already candlelight in here, so it would not be detrimental to the rest of you. Okay, so as you guys move up toward the very top of the room, Severius, Ol, and Moon, you guys are now beginning to see this. I will move. Whoop, no, come back here. Select you all. I'll move our light bearers up so they can see it as well. If you want to move Alatar up, you can. This is another statue, so there are 5 total in the room. The other 4 all having been destroyed by the falling arches that and the debris around the room. This one's a little bit different. This one is still intact. It hasn't taken any damage. This fifth statue looms at the very far end of this chamber. It is finely carved from exquisite marble, and it's a statue of a kneeling man who is looking up toward the light. Yeah, so you've got a beautiful statue in front of you guys. What would you like to do?
Can we tell what it depicts? Is there like a plaque or anything?
There is no plaque. There's nothing on it that indicates who or what this was. That being said, if you guys want to roll, I would say either history or religion checks to see if you can figure out or know anything about who this might be or recognize it, I would certainly let that go.
Can I roll those without the actual skills for my class?
Yeah. So I mean, you can. Anybody can roll history or religion. It's just whether or not you have pluses or minuses to it, based on your skills. But I'll let everybody roll.
I know everything.
So what I will say is that. So you guys are. Severius, not so much. Moon and Olin, absolutely. I would say Alatar is not gonna know it, but you guys can share the information amongst each other. So what you see here is it's a statue that depicts a figure out of Elturel legend called Lanish Fogel. Let's see here. So this is so Lanish Fogel again. He's one of the figures out of Elturel, kind of myth and legend. He was a guardsman, a paladin of Torm that fought for the city against its undead in the past. Because of his great deeds, he was presented the Helm of Torm from Torm directly. He is a revered hero out of Elturel's past. And again, a dedicated paladin. So this was a figure of great good and great worth to the city. And this was the original character out of myth and legend that Torm gave his helm to. Kind of an aside, metagame here a little bit. You may remember from like 2 months ago when we had that conversation with Feria in the tomb beneath the High Hall. She was that aging cleric that was taking care of all the citizens that were hiding in the tombs. She had told you that Duke Ravengard had gone toward the cemetery for 2 reasons. One, he had heard about all of the undead and was going with his men to see what was causing it. And 2, he was seeking the Helm of the Helm of Torm. It is a religious artifact that is said to provide prophetic visions. He was hoping that if he could find this relic, he could use it to determine a way to try to save Elturel. So before you see this figure kneeling down, this human-sized statue carved in marble to look and represent Lanish Fogel, the original paladin that was granted the Helm of Torm.
I'm gonna guess we're not gonna get super lucky and say it's on him, right?
You can certainly do a check if you like and see what you find.
Sure.
Not Jared Fogel. So, this is actually a super easy check. As you look at the statue, you can see clearly it is not wearing a helm. It is not holding a helm. It is kneeling, looking up into the light. But as you look at it, you realize the marble hair around the face is not as finely finished as the rest of the statue. It is as if there had been something that had been on the head that is no longer there.
So maybe he found it.
What else would you guys like to do?
I want to search for like secret doors and stuff because this seems to be a pretty big dead end, and maybe there's one.
Okay. If you want to do an active search, I'm going to have you roll perception or investigation for that, please.
I'm going to start rolling this better one day.
So you search around. The rest of you see Moon kind of moving slowly around the room, running his fingers, some of his talons into the walls and the cracks, things like that, trying to see if he finds any secret doors. He doesn't come across anything, but he does a pretty quick search of this end of the room, but doesn't find anything.
My eyes are closed the entire time.
You decided to use your sense of taste to find a secret door, and we're not able to perceive one.
Yes, my psychic abilities that I totally have.
I smell something. Oh, wait, that's Alatar.
Come on now.
Well, unless you guys see anything, I suggest we go back to the stairs and go the other direction.
So as Alatar does an investigation of the statues, trying to, deductively, if I push this rock, does anything new move? Nope. If I turn this candelabra, does anything open? Nope. As I swivel this brazier, nope. So he doesn't come across anything. Olin, using his sense of touch, his dwarven knowledge of stoneworking, also is looking around the room. You guys aren't finding anything secret.
We're really good at this.
So what you're in is known as part of Gideon's conversation last night, letting you know about the winding tunnels of the ossuary. You recognize that this is the Vault of Honor. He had mentioned this. It is a vault built to honor some of the biggest heroes of Elturel. And you can see that a number of them are destroyed, but this was one of those areas that visitors to the chapel, if they wished, could be brought down here by priests to pay their respects to these, myths and legends of the city. Anything else you guys would like to do? Check for? Look at? Otherwise, you can continue along your way if you would like to. It looks like my good man Olin has moved his way back down to that original T intersection. And what is Olin looking for?
Oh, nothing in particular. Just figured this is where we're going to be going back to.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I saw that last perception check and thought you rolled when you got down there. It was actually, it just updated. I saw Severius rolled. So as Severius is making his way back down to the entrance where you guys kind of came in, making his way around the room, he's doing the same thing, checking the stone pillars, checking the floor, checking the walls. There is you're not coming across anything. This is literally just kind of a large, vault with this soaring roof and a lot of stone damage from the earthquakes. But you also haven't come across any demons yet, so this could be a positive, right?
All right.
Or they're just waiting for us later.
Are you suggesting that demons lay traps? Because that's just ridiculous.
We're in the eye of the hurricane.
Thinking more ambush.
The calm before the shitstorm.
Well,
Suggestions on which way we check next?
did we lose
Well,
Audrey?
forward.
Or am I just not seeing her on the map? Nope, she's...
I was trying to move and I disappeared somewhere.
Oh, let me,
I'm way at the bottom by Castiel.
That's where I want to put you, but I don't see your character. Did I move you? Did I cover you? Oh, no, I covered you up. That's my bad. That was a Lulu mistake. I'll bring you back down here. And it looks like we've got our friends kind of moving over here into the end of the tunnel. So,
Alatar thinks to go north.
yep. So as you guys get to this next intersection, you can see It kind of begins to curve up to the north. It also begins to curve down to the south. At the very edge of your vision, kind of where you guys are standing, you can see just the faintest flicker of torchlight up here, or candlelight. But otherwise, this is just kind of a stone-lined hallway.
Okay. North sounds good. Do you want me to good for keeping my stealth check I rolled way back when, or you want me to roll another one?
Let's have you go ahead. Let's have you go ahead and roll another one, just because we've gone through a couple rooms and a couple tunnels, and we did some other fun stuff. But a 17 is nothing to laugh at, so you're good to go. So as
stealth.
So as Moon moves up around this part, you can see that the tunnel curves around. You see a little bit of light here, but you also see that it looks like the tunnel opens up further, and you see much more candlelight that way. I'm gonna move you guys up
it
to
goes
there.
south too.
Yep. So as you get to this point, you realize that the tunnel does fork back south. It has a wide 15-foot tunnel. So everything you've seen thus far outside the rooms has all really just kind of been 10 feet wide or so. This is now a 15-foot wide opening, which Severius has gone around, I think, the other side. So now, as you guys kind of move up, what you will find is that this goes straight down to here and then curls back up that southern side of the tunnel that Alatar had been looking at over here. So what you saw, Severius, as you move through that area is, and what you can see as well, Moon, as you look down into it, is that the passage leads into a large, quiet chamber, the walls of which are lined with funerary shelves. Each is set with dusty humanoid bones, many of them crammed in on top of each other. If you are familiar with the City of the Dead in France, all of the kind of stacked bones that you see in many of the underground tombs there, it is very similar here. So it's just a lot of stacked humanoid bones, skulls, femurs, rib cages. Amongst all this, you also see relics and holy symbols of Lathander, Torm, Helm, and Tyr, all set prominently about on a number of the different shelves. Cobwebs and dust cover almost all of it at the higher levels along the wall, and this goes up about 25 feet above you. So it's like bones from ceiling to floor, and the shelves are all just completely packed. Again, at the very top, everything's just kind of dusty and covered in cobwebs. It looks like it hasn't been cleaned in quite some time, but as it moves closer and lower down to the floor, you can see that the bones are less yellowed, less aged. The cobwebs and dust are not there. It's easier for the priests as they come down to clean to keep those parts of the shelves in better order. But what you do notice is that the lower shelves appear to have been quickly searched. The relics and holy symbols of the gods are gone or have been defaced, bent in half. There are bones that have been pulled out and now litter the floor in certain places, as if someone was searching for something. As you make your way through it, Severius, walking around this kind of central circle in this ossuary of the faithful, you recognize from all of these symbols that all of the bones here belonged to clerics, acolytes, priests, and paladins of these various gods. That this is another one of those places where the faithful of Elturel have been laid to rest. So chances are the fact that they're here means they were maybe lesser figures than some of the people buried in the main tombs underneath the High Hall. You may remember when you guys went through that area, there was a whole bunch of crypts and mausoleums there. This is certainly not as nice. This is not as noble as some of those carved crypts and things like that you saw in the tombs. This is literally just the bones of the dead that have all been stacked together in this place of faith. As you walk through here, Severius, because of how it's been ransacked and the number of bones and things like that are on the floor, you hear the crunching of desiccated finger bones and toe bones, the cracking of yellowed teeth turning to dust under your heavily armored foot. What do you guys want to do?
Not go in there.
You don't want to crunch on some teeth?
Nope. I want to keep an eye out this direction.
Let's move forward, I guess.
Okay. I am going to bring our light bearers up here to just behind. I'm going to move Alatar up one, actually, just so you guys
There's
can
light everywhere anyway.
Yep. Yeah, that's why I'm not too worried about it, because you're seeing flickering lights ahead of you. So there are a number of candelabras over here in that Ossuary of the Faithful. You see a number of candles lit all along this wall here in front of you. So as Moon moves up, he sees that this moves into kind of a major chamber that runs north to south for quite some distance. As you look into it, you notice this huge chamber is lined by funerary shelves again, all along the stone walls. Above which you see there are 6 bare daises, creating a display of dusty humanoid bones that rise from floor to ceiling. So it's similar to that ossuary of the faithful that Severius just walked through, but this has daises that look like there had been some things that had been displayed here, but now it's just kind of bones and the remnants of the dead. More cobwebs line these shelves. The smell of dust is very, very thick in the candlelit air. You are overcome by a heavy sense of age and quiet and solemnity that this place seems to demand in silent reverence.
Shall we continue, I guess?
Lead on, my furry friend.
Ooh, another room.
Yep, so as you come up around the corner, you see that there are another staircase kind of going down. As you peek into it, you can see that the room seems to have a bunch of like pillows and stuff down inside of it. But you'd probably have to move down in closer if you wanted to get a better look.
Sounds like a VIP room.
What goes on in there?
Should we check that room out or go further
There is
north?
no
'Cause it
sex in
looks
the
like there's a lot more
champagne
room up top.
It's up to you guys. I will let you go where you would like to go.
Gonna do a little perception.
Okay. What is it you're not finding?
Anything in general.
Huh?
Just kind of looking around, maybe shadows, secrets, anything that might be around that I don't notice.
So you were trying to look at stuff, but you realize that you've got like a finger bone stuck in your boot. So while you're trying to look, you're also trying to dislodge it, and you don't come across anything that looks secret or that kind of thing. As Olin moves down the stairs into the room here, what you find is what looks like a meditation chamber. This area is set about with a lot of cushions, low stools, made out of brown oak, pillows everywhere, above which there is an empty dais. The wall is covered with a mosaic. Right here, this wall to the south is covered with a mosaic shaped from a bunch of colored chips of bone, artfully arranged to depict scenes of funerals, the migration of souls from this plane to the next, and the celestial realms. Lettering along the bottom of the mosaic reads, "Contemplate life, death comes soon enough." The silence in this room is almost overwhelming. It's as if when you walk into it, all other sounds that you heard in the ossuary, the occasional dropping of stone, the crackle of the candles and torches as you move through, even your own footsteps seem to completely deaden as you walk in here. And even if you begin to speak, as you begin to kind of call back to Moon, you notice that your breath, your voice even sounds diminished. It's as if this room demands and reinforces the silence of meditation. But it is not threatening in any way. You find that there is almost a serene, peaceful quality to this space. The cushions are well worn. The chairs have all of the rough edges rubbed off of them. It is clear that this is a place where centuries worth of priests have come to meditate and commune in peace with their gods.
Did we lose Corey?
I'm here.
No, he's up in here in the. He went down into the room.
Oh.
Yep.
You pulled a monk.
So I'm just gonna kind of move you guys up to here.
Yep.
You guys want to continue on through this passageway?
There's a passageway.
I'm just saying, so at the other end here, as Corey came through, he sees that there is a northbound passageway that goes down more stairs.
Do we want to go to that northern area first before we go down another level, or?
So as Severius looks around the room, he finds a really comfortable cushion to sit down on and finally get that bone out of his boot.
Oh, that feels better.
I'm telling you, buddy, you're getting all your low rolls out now in case we get into combat. So this is a good thing.
I hope so.
So, Dig, as you come up to this point, you see that it looks like it kind of goes up here and curves, and it curves around here. It's more of those floor-to-ceiling shelves filled with bones. Again, some of these look like they've been ransacked. Things have been pulled out. The holy relics that were once here, or signs of the faithful, have been disfigured, bent in half, chains torn off of them. And it looks like the path kind of, you can either go to the north or you can go to the east from there. But you can see that if you go to the east, it does begin to curve toward the north.
Interesting. Looks loopy. Hey, it's loopy.
So as you as you kind of come up into this section up here, it's again, there's just another kind of pillar. Severius doesn't find anything. His deductive reasoning lets him know his boots feel better without bones in them. As Moon looks around, kind of checking the walls, he doesn't find any further tracks. I'm guessing you're probably looking for trapdoors or secret doors. You don't find anything along those lines. It's just wall to wall, floor to ceiling, bones upon bones upon bones. And it is, it's the deathly quiet of the grave down here. Dust fills the air. The smell of embalming fluid and aged bone seems to fill most of the space. As you guys are moving up, Alatar, you hear a grumble, telepathic grumble from your shield. And here's another update for you guys. I had to get rid of the voice mod thing because it was part of what was causing the problem with the recordings. So I don't get to do cool animated voices anymore.
That counts Lulu's, right?
It does. So this is it's a benefit.
I mean,
but you hear a grumbling from your shield, and as if it's kind of awakening again. It's been quiet for some time, and you feel almost as if your senses extend a little bit, as if the shield is reaching out through you, and it just questions, why? Why do we move amongst the dead?
Do you have information you want to share, brother?
It takes kind of a long pause, and then it replies, the quiet, the solemnity of this place, it lulls me. I don't like the way it makes me feel less than I wish to be. It is as if this is a place of long rest, and I wish to awaken.
You be patient. Perhaps we'll find something for you.
It It's as if it kind of grumbles, almost as if the voice is kind of moving away from you. And at just the very edge of it, you feel this slight telepathic touch as it whispers, "I just want to be free." And then it goes quiet again. As you're doing that, Lulu is going to look at you and be like, sometimes you get a funny look on your face, like you're talking to something that's not here. It's totally creepy. I like it.
That's cool. Thanks, flying elephant.
Right. What would you guys like to do?
I want to take a look down this passage.
Let's see here. What am I clicked on here? I can't see. There you are. So as you look down the passage, again, your dark vision kind of coming back into play as you leave some of the light sources behind. You see two different sections of stairs, again, leading downward. It leads down about 5 more feet to a platform and then again down another 5 feet. But as you look down, what you see ahead of you is definitely some bodies laying in pools of blood. One on this platform. Absolutely humanoid. If you want to move closer and investigate or take a look at them, you can certainly do so. Looks like Severius has moved up to get a better view. So what you see in front of you is a man-at-arms covered, or I should say he's wearing the colors and tabard of the Flaming Fist. You readily, without even having to roll for it, because you've carried the badges and had represented them in the past, when you look at it, you immediately see that the tabard across his chest has a large representation of the Flaming Fist logo. It is as you look at him, so you guys are I'm trying to see who just moved up, and I want to make sure I want to bring Audrey and Gary up as well. I'm going to kind of hold them back just a little bit so that you guys will have some dark vision down the hallway if you want it. So the the dead figure that you see at your feet, Severius, the dead figure that you see at your feet, Moon, again is wearing that livery of the Flaming Fist of Baldur's Gate, but you also recognize that it was wearing what would have once been fine armor that has now been rended into bits and pieces. It is as if his plate armor has been torn and shredded from his very body. It also looks as if part of his flesh has disintegrated in some way, shape, or form, as if it was exposed to something acidic or poisonous that ate away at him. He did not come to a peaceful end. He lays in a pile of his own blood. Even the haft of his warhammer that he was carrying has been cracked in two. If you've ever seen like a baseball player accidentally crack or snap a wooden baseball bat in half, the way the haft kind of twists and snaps and separates, it looks like something literally snapped the oaken haft of his warhammer in two and dropped the pieces on top of his dead body.
Neat. I'm gonna go back to being super stealthy again. No, I'm not. And then I'm gonna continue forward.
So you are still stealthing. You can move down those stairs. You will see that there is another body here at the bottom. And as you get to that point, you can see that it goes around a corner and there is a doorway here in front of you. So this body at the bottom of the stairs is in much the similar state as the other body further up the stairs. Again, you can see the tattered and torn remnants of the livery of Baldur's Gate's Flaming Fist mercenary band, which, again, kind of metagaming sidebar, that's the group that Duke Ravengard leads. He is the head of the Flaming Fist as well as being the head of the Council of Baldur's Gate. This looks like another one of the veterans. You can remember from your time speaking with Captain Zaj, he had a group of veterans with him. These were well-trained, extremely competent fighters that protected Zaj and helped to maintain the Flaming Fist control in Baldur's Gate. It looks like there were at least a few of them that had been with Lord or Grand Duke Ravengard when he was in Elturel, and it was pulled into the Nine Hells. You have now found 2 bodies of what may have been some of his guardsmen. And there is a door here in front of you. I think this is a great place for us to take a quick 5-minute break, because we have now gone almost 2 hours. Do you guys want to take a quick 5-10 minute break? I gotta use the bathroom and grab something to drink, and then we'll come back.
All right.
Ooh, what's in the
My
room?
perception check.
Okay.
I'm gonna pause it. Just gonna pause it, just so nobody gets crazy and starts opening doors. But we'll be back. Let's actually do 10 minutes. I'll give you guys 10 minutes. Bathroom break. Grab something to drink. Spank the monkey. Get on back. So we are unpaused and back in action. What would you guys like to do? You guys have got a doorway in front of you, dead bodies in the hallway as we continue our search for Duke Ravengard.
I would like to listen very carefully at the door.
Okay, let's go ahead and have you do an active roll on that one. Investigation or perception, please. All right. So as you listen at the door, let me have you roll a d4 for me, please. See how many things I'm gonna explain here.
Oh, I messed it up. Hang on.
Nope. Okay. So as you listen through, there are some things that you can certainly hear. One, you can hear the sounds of lapping water, as if there is some kind of larger body of water, something on the other side of that door. You can also hear every now and then some kind of mumbling. You can't pick out the words, you can't hear what it's saying, but every now and then there is kind of, it's not constant, but every so many seconds, maybe every minute or so, as you listen long and hard at the door, you can hear some kind of mumbling voice, and it's clearly crying out in some way, but the words are unclear to you. You can hear that there is something there, but it's kind of like that wah 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 from the Charlie Brown. The door and the distance is just doing enough to be able to keep you from hearing it clearly.
Now, when you say crying out, are you like in pain or just
so you can't
talking out loud kind of a thing?
You can't really tell. You just hear that there is some kind of strain in the tone, as if its voice is getting louder and then going back down to a lower mumbling. So it sounds as if the cry is going to a crescendo and back down of some kind. That mumble goes up and down.
But it's only one voice.
Correct. It sounds like one steady tone. It's you're not hearing. It doesn't sound like people talking. It sounds like one person.
Okay, I will relay that back and say I don't know who or what it is, but there is something in there.
Okay.
And we should probably gather the party before venturing forward.
Okay. So what would the rest of you like to do with that info from Moon?
Charge ahead.
All right. If you guys want to move on down the stairs, I'll pull our lighted foursome here in the backup.
Let's just send Castiel through the door.
He rushes ahead through the door.
Is this what we want to do, gentlemen and ladies? Or lady
That's
and
what
gentlemen?
I want to do.
Want to do, or probably would happen, are two different things.
It would happen.
For me, it's a group decision, guys. He's not going to come back to play it, so whatever happens with Castiel is not going to be lasting damage. Whether it's here or whether it is as we finish up this act, Castiel is going to depart from the group, whether it be peacefully or whether it be on his shield, one of the two. So I will let the group discuss and decide.
I was kind of curious what would happen if he finds the book he's looking for.
That was kind of my plan, was to give him a happy, character arc piece. That's originally what I was going to have him leave for when we discussed it upstairs before you joined us, Corey, and everybody else wants to send him to a fiery demise.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's what we do, right?
There doesn't seem to be a whole lot of empathy.
Murder hoboing to the lot.
Exactly.
How about everybody roll D20 and what do we say? 10 and under stays with the group. 11 and up runs to the door.
Yeah, he's definitely going to the door. Run.
Yeah,
That's it.
I'm pretty sure that's going to be over a 10. So you would like him to go in the room first. Okay, I'll move him up.
Charge in the room.
So he is going to.
Wait, nothing's changed.
He's. Hang on a second.
Oh, that's interesting. This is a good place for him to charge.
2 seconds,
You
guys.
ran through the door into a colossal slip and slide.
All right, hang on 1 second, guys. I just heard a scream from the other room. Hold on.
Okay.
That's nice of him. I never go check out the screams in my house.
Quiet down! I'm playing D&D.
Hey, keep it down out there.
If that didn't get picked up, I don't know what would. I don't know if anybody else heard Jeanette screaming bloody murder from the other room. She stubbed her toe on the way out the door.
That girl.
I was going to guess that she had never watched Game of Thrones before, and she finally got to the Red Wedding.
Yeah. Good Lord. All right, so
Second half the girls, 1 cup.
yeah, sorry about that pause. So Castiel's going to throw open the door and go running in, and then stop, kind of sliding to a halt. For those of you in the hallway who can look through the door and kind of see where he has gone, this room opens up. There is kind of like a balustrade or a balcony, railing here, kind of that goes around with a small staircase leading down. I think Moon, you can see it a little bit. There is a puddle of something at Castiel's feet. There is another dead body, again in the livery of Baldur's Gate's Flaming Fist. So there's another dead member of the veteran group here in front of you. As you look into the room, I'm trying to see who can see what here. Yeah, you.
Everything's gone.
So just about everybody can kind of see it. So there is a light in here as you look in. So in front of you, you see that there is a shallow meditation pool that fills most of this room. It is set off from a broad landing edged by a low wrought iron railing. There are wondrous frescoes that you can see carved around the room, depicting souls gaining the blessings of Lathander, Torm, Helm, and Tyr. The frescoes on one wall, however, directly in front of all of you, have been twisted into abyssal forms surrounding a shimmering portal against the wall. You can see it here. The pool in front of you is littered with the mutilated bodies of humans wearing the uniforms of Baldur's Gate and Elturel. You see dead soldiers floating in the water. However, directly in front of you, the swirling water of the pools roil with shadow. It's shot through with patches of black ichor where demons have fallen. And in the center of it all, as it spins around him, is an armored man with a shield slung over his back, crouching on his knees among the bodies that float past him. He writhes in pain, his eyes are closed, and his hands are clutched at a golden helm situated atop his head, as if he is vainly trying to claw it off of himself. Unintelligible words spill forth from his lips, some sounding saintly and solemn, others resonating with a cruel demonic hissing. Here's what you hear as you come in. So here's the first one. We'll see who knows this one.
You gonna rickroll us? We're gonna get rickrolled, aren't we?
I can read it.
I can read it as well.
We're getting rickrolled.
So that one should have been in Abyssal, I believe.
Yes.
This one, slightly different.
Olin speaks Abyssal.
Doo-doo-doo.
Read that one as well.
Olin speaks Infernal, so.
And then we've got that guy. And then we've got one last one. And then, clear as day in common, you can all hear this one. So if you guys want to share what you're hearing, you can certainly do so, because it was in a number of different languages. But he just, he is a dark-skinned man. Let me do this so you can kind of see what it is that he looks like. So that is the gentleman before you, though he has a golden helm up on his head that he is clawing at, trying to remove from himself as he is mumbling these different phrases that you heard coming out of him, one clearly in common, but the others in some languages that some of you may not recognize. He again, is kneeling in that meditation pool. The body's kind of floating around him as this writhing, swirling portal is behind him. What would you guys like to do?
I would like to make sure that we cast all our spells that buff the group before we go further. Because I got a feeling something's going to come in here.
Yeah, did my Blessing of the Forge get applied to Severius or whatever?
Probably not, but I can do that.
And Nikki, did you do your inspiring speech?
No, we just went in. I can do it.
Yep.
Let me see.
That's going to be, if you guys want, I can just, you can just go in and do that's the +7 hit points that Nikki can give all of you after every long rest. So if you want to go into your character sheets and just do the +7, you can certainly do so. You guys can modify those temp hit points. It's just right below the normal hit points. You'll see a +temp box that you can click into and type. So we've got to do...
Put a 7 in there?
Yeah, just put a 7 in and it'll add that too. You won't see it change the overall total, just it will subtract from those hit points first. Let me add this AC change here for you, Severius. Armor class. Add 1. There you go. You're up to a 21. You now have Olin's Blessing of the Forge on you.
Thank you.
If you guys have all... Let me do the +7 for Castiel. On his temporary hit points, he's got them. Severius has got them. Olin, Alatar, Moon's got them. I'm going to move Audrey.
I love the image of her just yelling down the stairs to be inspiring.
I'll go ahead and add that +7 to Audrey as well. Cool. So that should have everybody up to their new totals. Snufflechops and Lulu don't get that. Anything else that you guys want to do as you are walking into the room, or that you may have done at the end of the last long rest that we're just catching up to? We can retcon that a little bit.
I'm okay, I think.
Okay. So again, you guys see this swirling portal on the rear wall, emanating this strange red light. As you look at it, you can see that the soaring semicircle of stone around it that had once been these frescoes of, the Torm, Lathander, Helm, have now been kind of stretched and changed and scarred into these abyssal forms. The Blackstone is veined with magma, etched with ruins that seem to emerge from the very stones of the wall itself. And at its heart is this swirling vortex of fire. And within those flames, you can perceive faint, terrifying faces every now and then leering outward as if they are looking at you. Screams emerge as if from a distance, muffled from out of the rolling portal. The stones around it are darkened and cracked, scorched and ashen, as if from the very flames of the abyss. What you want to do?
I'll explain to the group what's the man is muttering. He says the pain, he's alternating between abyssal and infernal. He says the pain will never end. And then Inferno says, I will not kneel to you, Prince of Beasts, be gone from my mind. And then he says, free me, please, it becomes too much. And then Abyssal, again, I run from him, but I cannot escape. He is inside my mind. And then we all heard him say, foulness and lies, begone, Horn King. You bring nothing but deceit and treachery.
So let me have,
Does Horned King trigger anything, any memory or recollection?
if you want to do, I would say either I will allow one of 3 different checks. I just want to kind of hear what you're, just role play a little bit for me, but you could do a history. I would allow an arcana or a religion.
Okay.
And that's any of you that would want to do that. Altar's going to be good. Olin's going to be good. Anybody else want to roll?
Altar's just thinking. Did I read anything? Did I remember anything? Sound familiar from my studies?
Yep. I'm guessing Olin is using religion because that's it's part of his background as well. Plus, being a cleric, he's seeing it if he's recognizing. So, you guys. So I will say, Alatar and Olin absolutely do make a connection. So what I will say is that. How do I want to split this up here? Okay, so Alatar, you recognize the reference to the Prince of Beasts, and Olin, you recognize the reference to the Horned King. What you both recognize, and if you choose to share this with the group, you can, is that they are both nicknames or references to Baphomet. Baphomet is a really, really bad demon from the abyss. Civilization is weakness and savagery is strength. Is kind of the modus operandi, the credo, if you will, of Baphomet. He is the demon ruler over minotaurs and any other creatures of the abyss that have savage hearts. He's worshipped by those who want to break the confines of civility and unleash their bestial natures. He envisions a world without restraint where creatures live out their most savage desires. So you recognize that these are nicknames of his. He is an incredibly powerful demon lord. And it would appear this gentleman in front of you is having some conversations with him in his head. I want to pause real quick, though. I would like, so Castiel and Moon were not natively from Baldur's Gate, and had not been in the city for very long. Severius, you were raised there. Olin, you've been working at the temples for quite some time. Alatar, you've been in the city for some time. Audrey had been in the city for some time. I would like the four of you all actually, I'm just going to check something here real quick. I'm just looking at passive perceptions and investigations. Yeah, everybody's going to be high enough. So I'm not even going to have you roll on it. I can just provide you the information.
We are.
The man that you see kneeling, making these curses in infernal and abyssal that Severius has just shared with you, the person that Alatar and Olin believe is somehow in his head talking to this demon lord, this is Grand Duke Ulder Ravengard, kneeling in pain with this helm on his head, trying to claw it off of his face. This is the leader of the Flaming Fist, the head of the council, ruler of Baldur's Gate.
Cool.
Maybe we could help him get the helm off. Maybe don't touch it.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's get this thing.
Yeah. Let's keep
his head attached, though. Let's do that.
Let's make sure we. Okay.
It's various.
Don't want to hurt him.
Don't take his head off.
And probably don't touch the helm with your skin, unless you want to have a conversation with that person as well.
As Severius steps down the stairs, I'm gonna go ahead and pull. I just want to make sure we've got Audrey in the room here with you guys, so she can see all this stuff as well. So as Severius kind of steps down the stairs, his boots getting into the water, the Duke kind of writhing in front of him, suddenly there is a noise from this portal that is swirling on the wall, the red dark energies kind of lapping out across the room. In the swirling darkness within the portal, that fiery center slowly dissipates. And as it fades, you see the arrival of 2 dim red lights. As Severius stares closer, he realizes these are glowing eyes fixed upon him. Slowly, a cloven hoof steps through, coming out of the portal, and it is followed by a mighty roar. Before you, eyes burning bright with hate, a face is illuminated as it steps through the portal. A massive bull's head, stacked on broad, thickly muscled shoulders. Horns, twisted by chaos and rage, span 3 feet out of each side of its head. Its nostrils flare, its breath coming out in a heated cloud in front of it. The heat of the forge and long dead places, shimmering in waves, the stench billowing around you. Behind it, as it steps through, and it bellows, step 2 of its friends. All of them, their eyes focusing on the group. You watch as their cloven hooves now stamp heavily, scraping at the ground. Their horns drop, eyes blazing. One bellows in challenge. And then they charge at you. I'm gonna need everybody to roll. We're now in combat.
Wait, hold on. How many?
There's 3 of them.
27.
Shit nuggets.
So I don't want him in it. I do want these 3. So let me go ahead and put them in combat. Let me grab Audrey jumped in, Moon jumped in. There's Olin, Severius is in there. Let me get Alatar in here. Castiel is in here. You guys should all be able to roll now. There's Castiel's roll. And there's their rolls. Okay. All right, guys, let's have some goddamn fun, right? Switch this over into battle mode.
Let's don't die.
Yes.
Bring that down just a little
Fun.
bit. Let's go ahead and begin combat.
Get him, Gary!
Up first is going to be everybody's favorite bard. We've got Audrey with the highest initiative. So Audrey, you get to go first. So again, all the way over here on the far side of the room, you see these giant, cloven-hooved minotaurs. Giant, twisted, chaotic, 3 feet long, curved, spiked horns on each side of their head. They are beginning to lower their heads to charge at Severius standing, and the Duke here standing in front of them. And they are massive, by the way. As you can see by the size of their tokens, they are considered monstrosities. These things are easily over 10 to 15 feet tall. Massive, muscled figures. Let me do this so you can kind of see what it is that's coming out of the portal at you.
Dude.
What would Audrey like to do?
Oh, okay. I'm gonna cast Call to Lightning. Call to Lightning.
Okay.
That does not mean I'm trying to zap everybody, okay?
Yep. So, and I know last time it was kind of odd. So what I'll have you do is when it asks you to cast, if you want, rather than so it's going to ask if you want to place a template, you can uncheck that. Let me just see here. Call lightning. I just want to make sure I've got it. So storm cloud appears. It lets you place a point within 5 feet of it. They have to make dexterity saving throws and all that fun stuff. So if you just want to cast it, so it rolls your damage on it, but when it pops up the little box about placing a template, just remove that check, and I'll put a 5-foot cube out here that you can then move. We'll be able to move around for you. Because I know last time it targeted everything. So let's do this.
It has a 60-foot range.
Yep. So
Yep.
you'll be able to move this around. As I recall, you have the ability to move the strike point, but
Yes.
it was everything within 5 feet. So we'll say that this guy right here is going to be your template. If you ping the map where you want to place it, I'll put it there and then help you target the stuff that you want to hit.
Okay, and is it bright enough in here for me to see without the lights?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's let me do this. We can try it. Well, let me make sure I can select you. I'll turn them off. You tell me if it's okay. So let me go and say that.
Yes, it's red.
Yeah,
I can see.
it's kind of glowing red lights from that portal, so you should be able to see a bit. So if you want to drop that concentration to cast something else, you certainly can. So if you long left click somewhere on the map, I'll move that that template over and then help you target some stuff here too. So you want to put it kind of like on that corner of that space, which means it's going to be able to hit this gentleman and this gentleman.
I'm anticipating that they're probably going to move.
They are going to, I mean, they have lowered their heads and begun their charge. So on their turns, they're most definitely going to be trying to run forward, almost as if they want to run through the Duke and into Severius.
I mean, the spell, I think, casts almost all the area that we can see.
Yeah, so 60 feet covers the room. What it does is it's so the spell itself can reach around anywhere within 60 feet. But what it does is it creates a single 5-foot point where the actual thunder or lightning damage happens. So you have range of up to 60 feet, and you can move that 5-foot point anywhere around the map on your turn as part of your action. You choose a point you can see under the cloud, so the cloud itself kind of is rolling around the very top of this chamber. All of a sudden, dark gray, roiling masses of fog and cloud begin to coalesce above Audrey as she stands there casting, her small hands moving deftly as she sings quietly under her breath, calling upon her bard magics. As the rolling clouds form, arcs of lightning begin to strike out at the frescoes along the wall. A concentrated bolt slashing down into the Minotaurs in front of you. So they're going to take 3d10 damage on a failed save, half as much on a successful. So it looks like your spell DC is a 13, so that's what they'd be rolling against. And it's a dexterity save for them. So, if you want to roll 3d10, that'll be our damage. And we are going to say it's on these two guys because of where you've got it placed. Actually,
Oops, sorry.
No, that's okay. We'll erase that one. At bottom right hand corner, where it's got like all the little dice buttons at the bottom, the fourth one is the D10. If you just click that 3 times, yep, there you go. Perfect. So it's going to do 18 damage on a failed save. It will do 9 damage on a successful. So we will say on the first one, he is going to roll his dex save against a 13. That is a failure, so he will take the full damage. The next Minotaur will throw as well. He is going to fail as well. So they are both going to take the full damage. That's going to be minus 18. Minus 18. All right. Correct and
Did
correct.
like some of their fur come out? And that's pretty much it.
So, so you can see that that actually does it. They are barely or just kind of slowly tipping into the realm of badly injured. But as these swirling masses, you point one deft little finger across the room at these Minotaurs, and a slashing bolt of lightning, literally, I mean, just from 10 feet above their monstrous heads, cracks into the two of them. illuminating their like it's almost as if like you can see where their horns attached to their skull plate, almost as if it's like illuminating from their bones from inside, and they bellow in rage and pain as they continue to prepare to make their mad dash forward. Any bonus actions or additional movement you'd like to take?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Cool. That's going to be Cassiel's turn. All right, folks, what do you want to do?
He's gonna charge him with his fist. Yeah, you're gonna go punchy.
All right, so group
run
decision.
up and jump on back. Run up and jump on the back of one and grab him by the horns and start trying to punch him in the nose.
All right, so consensus: number 1, number 2, number 3. Which one is Castiel going after?
I'd say
The uninjured one.
2 or 3, yeah, or 1 or 2.
Yeah, the uninjured one, the one that I missed. I forgot to.
So it looks like you guys are saying the top of it. So let's see here. That's gonna be. He gets a ton of movement room. So what he's gonna do is you see Castiel suddenly goes running between Alatar and Olin, puts one foot on top of the iron railing, leaping off through the air, soaring past Severius to land over here, kind of skirting past this Minotaur, which looks like he's getting ready to run forward. He is going to target this other one. And let's see here. So he's going to do his regular action, which is going to hit for 4 damage. We're going to have him blow his key points, right?
Yes.
Yes.
It's a good thing that we do.
Key it up, baby.
Because he is going to go off there. As part of that, he gets a secondary unarmed strike because of his level, which is also going to hit. And then, does he get, I always forget if he gets 2, do monks get 2 attacks?
Of course they do.
I always forget if they get extra attack.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I thought they had 3.
Yeah, I thought they had 4 attacks.
Right?
If he keeps striking,
Yes.
he gets additional attacks.
Yeah.
No, he does.
He keeps hitting
like
until he loses.
It's like the E-Honda 100-hand slap.
He actually does have an extra attack, so that will be his 4th, which will also be a hit. So as he goes running forward, vaulting over this iron rail past Severius into the dirty, bloodied waters of the meditation chamber, as he lands, he kind of does that like run on water thing, but he's like doing it on some of the dead corpses that are floating by. So he never actually enters into any kind of rough terrain that would slow him down. He comes sliding to a stop next to one of these monstrosities, which towers above him and unleashes a flurry of blows that do badly injure this Minotaur next to him that is now absolutely pissed off at this little stinging gnat standing before him. That's going to bring us to Olin.
All right. Olin mutters a prayer. Morden, kind of says, I could really use your help right now. And he is going to cast Spirit Guardians. And obviously going to designate all of the friendlies plus the Duke
Cool. So
as not being hit.
yeah. So I'm gonna when I ask you to place the template, I want you to hold on for just 1 second for me, because I know this is one of those ones that tends to target everybody. It doesn't give us the ability to pull it.
Okay.
So what I'm gonna have you do is put like the very center of it over here. So it actually centers on you. I just want to have you cast it here, and then I'll drag it back to be over you. That way it doesn't target everybody, hopefully. If it does, I'll fix the damage.
Alrighty.
So I am gonna grab that, if it lets me. If I center that back on you, because it is the way it works around you. It actually, so it targeted this guy. I'm gonna have him do the saving throw. Which he succeeds at. Is it half damage on a success? I forget with Spirit Guardians. Let me see here if I look it up. Yep, so it's half on a save. So it subtracted 7 of that 14. So we're good there. So it actually did the damage to this one, but I think it's this one that would be just at the very edge of your spell. So let me go here and go -7 because it's going to take half. Over here I'm going to go +7 to put the automatic 7 it had taken off of it because of how we target it by having the thing over in the corner. So you've got this one just at the very edge of it, which would just begin to be targeted, but the others are outside of your range. So Spirit Guardians are up, spinning, swirling, the radiant energy flying around the room. So, everybody imagine the way that this looks right now. We've got these rolling, boiling clouds above all of you as Audrey is focused in on her call lightning and thunder magic. Olin steps up to the balcony and casts Spirit Guardians, these small glowing lights looking like dwarven angels carrying the crossed hammers of Moradin begin to swirl about him in radiant energy, damaging anything that has not been given Olin's blessing upon his casting. You see them flitting and flying about you, and as they begin to slice into the Minotaur at the front, it bellows in pain as the damage begins to eat into its fur as it is trying to charge forward. Is there anything else Olin would like to do? So that's your action, right? Spirits is a full spell. Any bonus?
I can actually move past Severius, right?
Correct. As long as you don't end out, so you can move through those spaces. Let's see, it'll be 5, 10, 15, 20. Yeah, so when you do move through another character space, I usually have that be like difficult terrain where it takes up twice the amount of movement to kind of shimmy through the same space, but you've got more than enough movement to get to that point. So what I can do is that's going to absolutely follow you. So let's go ahead and move that up, which means that all of them would now be in your targeted range. This one directly in front of you isn't going to take anything extra, and what we'll remember is that we rolled his damage at the start of the turn. Technically, it's when they start their turn there. The other two will take that as it comes up on their turn, and as always, if you want to re-roll that damage for each of them, I absolutely allow it. It's up to you. If you want to try to beat that 14, you can. If you're comfortable keeping it, you can do so as well. It's your call.
Okay. And one more thing.
Mm-hmm.
As Olin is running past Severius, he's going to kind of, reach his hand out and smack Severius and cast Shield of Faith as a bonus action. And a shimmering field appears and surrounds Severius, and that gives him a +2 bonus to AC for the next 10 minutes.
Okay, so let me do...
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Nope, never mind. Sorry, that's concentration. Yep. Sorry. Not going to happen.
I was going to say you can certainly do so, but those Spirit Guardians, those little miniature cherub-like dwarven radiant angels surrounding you would unfortunately begin to fade away.
Yeah, sorry about that. I wasn't paying attention to that. Okay, well, I guess that's about it for Olin's turn.
Okay. So that is going to bring us to our first very angry, growling, bellowing, hoof-stomping Minotaur. So, let's see here. That's not going to work. Okay, so this Minotaur is going to use this. It's going to use Reckless. So this is kind of like reckless attacks that you have for barbarians. It grants him automatic advantage on his swings, but it also grants you guys advantage on him during this combat round. So until it comes back around to him again, you will have advantage attacks on him. But he is going to use that to absolutely take a fun little swing here at Castiel.
Sparkles. What?
He's dead.
Oh my god.
What?
So Castiel only had 45 hit points, plus the 7 would actually have been, that would be exactly 52. With a critical hit with his great axe with advantage, he just did exactly 52 damage. So he's not dead. Technically, he is knocked to the ground, unconscious, and we will have to have him start making death throws.
Okay.
Alatar, that's your turn.
Okay, so I guess. Wait, both of those Minotaurs. Did that one take the damage from Spirit Guardian?
That we've got to do. So, do you want to reroll or have him take the 14?
Let's stick with 14.
It's a hell of a call, my friend. So, he actually has to do. Let me do this. He's got to do. Idiot. Let me fix that.
No, you don't have to fix it. It's cool.
I love that hit.
How much did it just remove there? I wasn't paying attention. Was that 52? No. What did we just see pop up there?
On Castiel, it was 52.
Yeah, Castiel was 52. How much did I just remove off of this Minotaur is my question.
You
Everything
just
but
dead.
14.
So,
Or no.
let me do that. Let me just real quick, I want to recap the amount of damage that Castiel did. So it was
10, 25.
it was 4,
29.
19.
He did 29.
$29 total?
Yeah, I see 29 total from him. Minus, let me do it this way here. God damn, why is it's acting so weird. 81 minus 29. All right, so he's back where he should be. Let me do that so you guys can see him correctly again. Let me do this to fix this, because we really want him unconscious so he can roll death throws. And then also the minus 14. And I think I've got it where it's supposed to be. There we go. Okay. Alatar, you see Audrey call down the forces of thunder and lightning. You see Olin stepping forth with his spirit guardians whirling around him. Castiel had gone deftly jumping over the iron railing, landing a series of furious blows against the Minotaur, who bellows in his face and reacts with a vicious overhand downward slashing blow from his great axe that chops violently into our nearly unarmored monk's shoulder, splitting it down into his chest cavity. You see the monk fall to the ground, blood mixing with the heavy waters. We have two different problems right now, folks. He is both drowning and bleeding out because this is a meditation pool that is roughly knee deep. So he's gonna have to roll death throws for both, which means he's rolling 2 per round. No, we'll say 1 per round. I'm not gonna be that mean. But so he will be rolling death throws, but he is also drowning. and also bleeding out. You see all of that. What would Alatar like to do?
Alatar is feeling a little in the moment and starts asking his his shield friend if he wants to play.
That is an excellent question. So it, seeing this blood, hearing the bellows of the Minotaurs, you know, this challenge to battle, and what you basically have is, you know, the immovable object in your shield, and you have an unstopping force in charging Minotaurs. Your shield responds very positively that it would love to jump into the fray.
And Alatar is thinking maybe some Gargoth's breath.
You can certainly do so. So I know you've got the two different types of spells you can cast. One is the wall, one is the ball. If you want to cast it, you can. It will give you a template that you can then line up. It should anyway. The spells are on the very bottom of your spell book.
It says you do not have sufficient permissions to view this entity sheet.
That doesn't make sense. It's not a sheet. They're just.
What's a sheet?
Yeah, I don't know why.
What sheet is this?
Can you do me a favor? Just hit F5 just to refresh your screen real quick.
F5. Refreshing.
It's almost like it's saying that about your own sheet, because you're clicking on spells in your sheet.
Yeah, I don't know what the sheet it's talking about.
Is it still doing it?
Well, I'm still refreshing.
Oh, it's refreshing? Gotcha.
If only I had a faster computer.
We're fixing that. We're getting there.
There we go. Coming up. Coming in hot. All right, it's my turn. What do I want to do?
So if you click on that, let's see if it lets you cast it. And when it gives you the template, you should be able to use like control on your mouse wheel to rotate it.
There we go. Okay. So
it's going to be like a 60-foot wall.
Yeah, it's giving me a lot of info. How do I cast it though?
Does it give you a die all the way on the left-hand side of it? Like if you mouse over, click on that die, and then it'll expend one of the slots that it has, and it should give you the option to place a template. Mm-hmm. If you say okay to that, it's going to pop up and give you a 60-foot long rod.
Yep.
You should be able to control, and your mouse wheel should allow you to spin it and put it where you want it. There you go, my friend. Holy son of a bitchin'. So let me do this, because it didn't target them as it moved around. So let me make sure, because that is absolutely going to hit all three of them. Let me just make sure I know. It's a dexterity saving throw. And again, it's like the Spirit Guardians. If they make it, they take a half. If they fail it, and I just want to make sure I get the DC correctly here, because I know it's actually higher than your regular one. It's based on the shield, not on yours. So let me just grab that real quick, and then they'll make their saving throws. My apologies, guys. Digger's about to lay down a serious fucking smackdown.
Oh, that's fine.
Let's go.
Take your time.
Yep.
Adjust, give them all the damage.
So it is a dexterity saving throw with a difficulty of 21. First one, es no bueno. Second one, es no bueno. Third one, close but no cigar. Okay, so that means that they're each going to take 27 fire damage. Let me do that. And that. And that... And there's just one last thing I want to check on that spell. It lasts for up to 1 minute as long as you maintain the concentration. So if so it does, and I just want to clarify here, Dig. So part of it is that you choose which side of the wall emanates the damage out in a 10-foot radius. I'm guessing you're doing it back towards the portal, not out towards you guys. So we'll just keep that in mind. And I don't believe it lets you... Yeah, so it's a... Yeah, you're not... unlike the Call Lightning one, you can't actually move the wall. It just stays there as long as you continue to concentrate on it. So you've got this, like, foot-thick... floor to ceiling, wall to wall, just lance of hellfire comes flying out, burning across the room, directly across where the Minotaurs are trying to push forward through this portal. The smell of their singeing, burning fur and flesh makes all of you hungry. It smells like hamburgers in here. They are screaming in pain as their fur and flesh is on fire, literally singeing their twisted horns. Even bits and pieces of the leather on their armor ignites as they are caught in this hellish inferno of flame. As it casts, all of you feel this kind of psychic bombardment from the shield as it screams out its rage and ecstasy at being able to unleash some of its might. So that is your action, sir. Do you have a reaction? Not a reaction, excuse me. Do you have a bonus action or movement you'd like to take?
No, just a little fire boner.
Sweet.
I'll try to cover it with the shield.
Red rocket.
Cool. So this guy is gonna absolutely... yeah, he's not going to be happy. This guy is also going to roll for Reckless, which means he has advantage, but everybody will have advantage against him.
Spirit Guardians.
Yep. He is going to take his minus 14 as he starts his round there. And he is going to charge forward. Hitting the Duke and trying to push through him. He is going to... There it is. I'm trying to find the right one here. So he slams into Duke Ravengard, flinging his body. What are we doing here? I feel like there's like a... What is... Yeah, I'm getting like a ghosting image. It looks like there's another token here that isn't. I don't know if you guys see that. It looks like the Minotaur is still kind of back here for me on my screen.
I don't.
Okay. I don't know. It just kind of ghosted on mine. So when he gets hit, if he fails it, he can be flung up to 10 feet directly away. So you see the Duke goes and slams into the iron fence, slumping to the ground, sideways into the water. He is not, his head is not fallen below, but he is also not stopping himself from slowly sliding down into the water. He is still, again, just mumbling and trying to claw the helm off of his head. So that means that he pushed Ravengard through and comes to there. That's going to bring us to Moon. So you see this screaming beast come literally rushing through this wall of fire, singed, burning, fire and anger in its eyes, and it slams its horned head into the Duke, throwing his prone body across the room to slam cruelly into the iron fencing. What would Moon like to do?
First, I have two questions that really have nothing to do with my turn, but I'm going to ask them anyway. with Altair using the shield, just curiosity-wise, does the shield cast a spell, or does he cast the spell for the concentration purposes?
So it's the concentration applies to Alatar. He has to maintain it, and what he's really doing is it's not necessarily concentration on the spell. He's concentrating on Gargoth to keep control of him.
Makes sense.
Yep, you've got this angry something trapped inside of the shield. There is a bit of psychic push and shove, and that's really where the concentration comes from.
Gotcha.
It's a good question. That's a good clarification.
And then second, does that say negative 92 for the saving throw for him?
It does on my screen.
Yeah,
Yes, it does.
It's actually it was, I don't know where it got the -1. I know why it's the -100. It's because he is currently stunned. He had no way of missing it. I don't know why it did -100 though.
I just wanted to double check. Like,
No,
it made
it's
sense because he couldn't defend himself, but I
Yeah.
just wanted to make sure.
When I saw he rolled a 5, I knew it wouldn't be high enough to beat the DC, even with his strength bonus. I didn't realize it was doing that -100. That must be. I will have to check my Cub condition setup and see why it's doing -100. Maybe that is. I'd have to check it though.
Yeah, I got as good a chuckle on that as the 52 damage for the monk, so I thought I'd point it out real quick.
Also, I have that aura of protection. I don't know if that would apply to Ravengard or not. But.
Which, let's see here. Your charisma modifier is a +4. So that would be 4, 7 + 5. It still wouldn't have been high enough, but that definitely got him closer to it than the -92. It's close, but no, it's actually still below, just below what the charge would be.
Okay, so Moon's going to jump the railing.
Okay.
And come over here, and this is one of the guys we have advantage on, correct?
Correct. So when it's a large creature like this, it doesn't have to be like directly across. It's any space across. So technically, Olin is giving you advantage on that creature. Plus,
Well, I was thinking for the reckless.
yeah. So and you also have it on him because of the reckless. So you can't have double advantage, but you absolutely have advantage on your rolls here.
Perfect. And was that control or alt? I can't remember.
It's alt. Mm-hmm. A for advantage, alt and advantage.
Stabby.
That is going to absolutely be a piercing blow into the side of the Minotaur, followed up very quickly by that wrenching sneak attack damage that our feline rogue loves to do. So we see a penetrating hit for 23 damage on his first strike. The Minotaur raises its head, throwing its head back, screaming out in its pain. Again, still some fire on its fur, torn, burned flesh. And it is looking around at this group wondering, how can such small creatures be doing it so much harm?
All right, and then Moon is going to quickly contemplate should he stay here and kill it or run away like a coward, and decide he's going to risk it because he looks like he's almost dead.
He is near death. Well, I'm not sure why it did that, so let me do that for Corey, because he shouldn't have the blood on him.
Well, that's so powerful that it just showered him in gore.
I may have just gotten spattered with it.
So with your second blow, as it is bellowing its pain from your rapier, this newfound artifact granted to you by Lathander slices up under its ribcage, seeking for its heart, but not quite reaching. As it turns back, you deftly slide the full length of your dagger into its kidney, twisting as it bellows out in rage, and just its momentum carrying it forward, its horned head landing at Severius's feet as it falls face first into the meditation pool, dead before you. Do you want to finish up with any last little bit of your movement, or do you want to stay where you're at?
Can I continue with my movement?
Yeah, so I don't think you did a full 30 feet to get where you're at. I'm not going to charge you. I'm not going to charge you any extra to vault over that rail because it's just a small iron railing. So you still have 10 feet if you want to finish up.
I'll go there.
Cool.
And then I don't know if you can see it, but I have a shadow moon where I started also.
Yeah, it's you know what? It did that for me, and then it finally cleared up. It's something going on with the. It's probably the amount of animation stuff we've got on the screen right now. Cool. That's going to bring us to Severius. So our angry-faced paladin, who has a dead minotaur at his feet, and two more coming out of the portal and the crackling wall of fire that Alatar is giggling about from behind you.
Can I even move forward, or is that blocking me?
So you could absolutely, if you wanted to crawl over his corpse, you certainly can. We're going to call that difficult terrain, so you will go to half movement. But if you wanted to climb up on top of him, what I will do is simply remove him from there, and we will know that the 4 spaces around this would be on top of that Minotaur's body.
You know what? I'll go over this way through all the bodies. Can I occupy the same space there?
You cannot. So technically,
okay.
Yeah, Castiel would still be taking that up, but you're still well within range of the central one.
Okay. And I am going to take a shot. Do I have advantage on this one or not?
This one
hasn't done anything yet.
That one is not. Think. Yeah, that one is not gone yet. So he has not used a reckless. There is no inherent advantage, and there's nothing across from him in a space that would grant it to you. So this would be just a standard swing.
Okay, let me.
If you want to retcon that and come down, you technically couldn't get advantage on this one down here either. But if you move up, you could swing into the fire past Castiel to try to hit this guy.
Yeah, let's try that.
And that one did use reckless, so you've got advantage on that.
And I probably should be trying to finish him off anyway. So hold the Alt key.
Alt key and click on the stuff for your mace.
Okay. Oh, baby.
Dual 7s. Unfortunately, even with advantage, that first attack is going to miss. The good news is that as a paladin, you've got a second one you can roll with advantage as well.
Yep, let's try it again.
Big money, no whammies. Well, that one's going to definitely do a little bit of damage. So as you step up with the crackling of the flames, trying to step past Castiel's bleeding, drowning figure in front of you, the creature is distracted from its own reckless attack, from the fires burning about it. Unfortunately, you miss on that first swing just because of the heat of the flames, trying to make sure you're not singeing your beautiful paladin plate armor, but your follow-up swing with that silvered skull flail strikes true. You literally knock the horns off the side, the right side of its horned head. The 3-foot-long, twisting, spear-ended horn landing in the meditation pool at your feet, and it drops, burning up, completely singeing in that wall of fire, unable to move past it, dead before you. Another mighty Minotaur slain. So that's your attack and extra attack. Do you have any bonus actions, free actions? Paladins are one of the classes that get free actions, or additional movement you'd like to take?
I can move back. Can I move back a spot right here?
Sure.
Okay. And then I will try to... Let's see. What do I do? Don't have that. I will try shove him back. Or actually, I'll try to knock him down with my shield.
Okay.
I guess that's strength on strength. That's probably not going to work, but...
So I think for you can use athletics. I think it's just straight up strength for the Minotaur.
Okay. So I just make an athletics roll. Do I have a shield bash?
I believe there should be a shield master shove. I don't know if it actually rolls anything. It's in your it is in your bonus actions, or it's under features on the attributes tab of your character sheet.
Okay. Yeah, let me.
I don't know if that actually will roll it correctly for you or not. I don't think we've tried it.
Shield master shove. Let me try that.
I think it just tells us what it is. Okay.
And I guess so I just make an athletics roll. Okay.
Yep. So shove is usually strength versus strength, but we can use athletics, so you get your full bonuses. That's a 19 against. Well,
I'm
let's
sure
see.
it's weak.
That is going to get shoved, so you can choose to have him go prone if you like, or to get knocked back. It's up to you.
Let's go prone. I don't want him charging.
Well, I just fucked that up. I clicked on the wrong button too fast. He was at the very bottom of the order, though, so I'm just going to give him a 7. That actually works with a 2. Let me just do this here real quick. Make sure he's still at the bottom of the order, and then we'll add prone. Where are you, prone? All the way over here. Boom. He is now knocked back, prone on the ground. Okay. Anything else you want to do on this turn?
Oh, man.
I think that's probably most of it. That's going to bring us here. So we actually applied the Spirit Guardian damage to him on Olin's turn. This is actually the first time it's gotten back to him, so we don't have the minus 14 again here because we just applied it initially upon the cast of the spell. Okay. He is going to use his movement to get back up and stand back to his feet. There isn't really, he doesn't have anywhere he can run all that quickly. So he is going to step this way to try to get out of the flames. That is going to spark a attack of opportunity from Severius. So you get not with advantage or anything like that. It's just going to be a regular old hit with your skull mace.
Come on. Oh, goddamn.
Which is going to miss as he gets to this point. He just wanted out of that fire. So he's going to take a shot at Olin, because Olin is the one directly in front of him on this side of the fire where he could move. He is going to go reckless because, let's face it, he's severely wounded and pissed off. He is going to... He's going to try to gore you with his horns. In his frenzied rage, rather than using his great axe, he is going to try to just gore you on the edge of those spear-tipped horns of his. Interesting. There we go. So it looks like that is going to hit for 8 damage. But it looks like that concentration fail is gonna, or check for the Spirit Guardians is gonna fail. So we see the Spirit Guardians have disappeared automatically on that fail. But that is going to be the end of that Minotaur's turn. It looks like... Trying to figure out here. It looks like it only subtracted...
The temporary hit points also.
I had the 7 temp.
That's why. Good call. Thank you. I was just trying to look at that real quick here. So that's going to be the end of his turn. That is going to bring us back to the top of the round. But as we get to this point, I'm going to pause this real quick. Because as he moves forward, stepping out into the flames, and they're not going to be happy about it, you see another horned foot and another horned face step into the flames. They will roll for that flame, or they will roll their saving checks for that on their turns. I'm going to add them into the current combat round and roll for them. And they will then, okay, they're going to be like in the middle of our order. When they hit the point, they will roll on their dexterities to see if they take that damage from the wall of fire that they are trying to rush through. That is going to be Audrey's turn. So Audrey, we still have your template is still out here on the board. If you want to move that and call down lightning again, you certainly can. I'm actually going to mark that you've got concentration on, just so that we don't forget it for that spell. But if you would like to move that template, we can do so, or you can leave it where it is. Right now, it will hit this target and this target.
Okie doke.
As your benevolent DM, yep, I was going to say, if you move up to that cross section, you're going to actually be able to hit all, well, if I can get it where it's supposed to sit, yeah, you'll be able to hit all 3 of them. So I'm going to leave that there so we can see that blue is the, blue is the lightning, fiery red is the wall of fire. So this will hit all 3 of them. You get to roll, is it 3d8 for damage, I believe is what we had last time? So if you want
3d10.
3d10. Good Lord, woman. Go ahead and roll that, and then I'll do the saves to see if they take full or half damage. That's a hell of a spell.
Yep.
Okay, so that's gonna be 19 damage if they fail it. That's good. I'm just looking at something here real quick. Where is it? Where'd you go? There it is. Call lightning. So it's some dexterity against DC of 13. There's the first. He is going to miss it. Here is the next. He's going to make it and take half. Here is the third. He is going to fail it. So, we are going to see this guy up front was number 1. He takes, good Lord, exactly enough to send him into a bloody pile on the ground. This guy was number 2. He made it, so he is going to take minus 9. And then this guy here took the full 19. So we see the lightning come striking down out of the sky again to crash amongst the Minotaurs as they try to come through. They can't even see the roiling clouds along the top of the room because they're choking and screaming in the fire as they try to come through this wall, only to be struck by another call of lightning that lances down into them, the first dropping dead in front. So now we have 2 bodies here, by the way, in this spot. So I am going to do this real quick just so that we all remember that it's difficult terrain. Okay, so just keep in mind that those 4 squares have got 2 dead Minotaurs on top of each other. any additional bonus actions or movement you'd like to take?
Yeah, I'm going to step back a little bit.
Okay. Can certainly do so. So that brings us to Cassiel, who needs to make his first death save. I gotta tell you, I'm a little nervous. And he fails the first one. So that is one failed death save for Cassiel.
And how many does it take?
3. 3 failures or 3 successes to stabilize.
Well, he wanted you to kill him anyway, so.
So that is 1 failure out of a possible 3. That brings us to Olin.
Okay. Just checking something here. All right. Well, Olin being a cleric, he would not just let one of his companion die in a shallow pool. So he is going to
Really quiet.
spare the dying. Am I still quiet?
Oh, no, now you're very loud, sir.
Okay.
Like up to
Put
about
that,
100
put that mic all the way in your mouth. Just like that. That's what Daddy likes.
All right. Spare the dying on Castiel.
Okay. That's a cantrip, correct? Yeah.
It is a cantrip.
Cool. So that's going to be your action, but that is going to stabilize him. So he is unconscious. The question now is going to be what we do. I'm gonna be magnanimous here. So not only do you cast Spare the Dying on him, which is going to stop the bleeding and stabilize him, so he basically has 1 hit point. But in addition to that, you are able, because you're using up your action already, I'm going to give you a free action, a free object interaction action. So if you want to grab his hair and pull his face up out of the water so that he doesn't drown, we can do so. You can roll him over so he's floating on his back and his face is up, so he doesn't. Because otherwise, in the next round, he's going to start to drown and go back into rolling death throws again.
And he drag him behind him.
If he just rolls him onto his back, I'll say his face is out of the water enough that he's floating and can breathe. If you want to try to drag him back and get him out of the area, I'll absolutely allow that as part of your movement action.
That would probably cause an attack of opportunity, though.
On Cassiel, it certainly would from this guy.
Yeah. So I think instead, I will go ahead and cast Healing Word on him as well.
Okay.
Get him, some more hit points. Although if he gets smashed, he's dead again.
Okay. So he is still very much near death and stabilized. And this would actually... So he's not going to be unconscious anymore. He's just going to be prone. So we'll remove that. Add that instead. So Cassiel is kind of stabilized. Has a few hit points flow back into him. That gaping wound from the great axe that slammed into his chest and shoulder closes just enough for the bleeding to not be erupting out of him in geysers. And he is now prone with his head up out of the water. He can actually lift it high enough on his own. what he does in future rounds will be, we'll see. So that's going to be an action and a bonus action, correct? Do you have any movement, sir?
I think I will stay out of the. Well, I guess the lightning is not just an area that.
Yep.
That.
You've got it. She actually has to call it down, so it's already struck. It's centered on that point. If you step into it, you're not going to be hit by anything, unless she calls it down again in the next round in that same spot.
Okay. So, in that case, I'm going to go ahead and move one step closer to the Minotaur.
Okay.
And that's it. Yep. Standing on top of a couple dead Minotaurs.
Yeah, you. So now you kind of come up to chest level of the one in front of you. So that's going to bring us to the first Minotaur. So now I've got to do the dexterity save, which there's just no way he's going to hit a 21. So he is going to fail that. Dig, can you remember how much total damage you did that first time?
It was 27.
My goodness. So we'll do that. He is then going to... He is going to try and pivot to his right. So he is going to get out of the flames. That's going to provoke an attack opportunity from Olin. So Olin, you can take a free swing at the guy that just moved up top.
One sec.
That's going to be a hit.
Oh, great.
So you're able to swing out Heaven's Fall, but it's kind of a backhanded swing, kind of crossbody because you're right-handed, and it dings off of his armor as he goes back. You can tell that it irritates him.
Spanks him on his bum.
You know, the Minotaur is, bellowing in rage, savagely angered that these little flies, these mosquitoes are constantly biting at him. He has just stepped through from the abyssal depths only to immediately be burned by this wall of fire and hit by a dwarf. He's not happy. I think we all know what he's going to do here. He's going to go reckless, and then he is going to swing with advantage at Severius. And he's going to miss, but thank God it's not a critical fail. That's going to be his turn, which is going to bring us to the next Minotaur. He's going to roll his dex saving throw, which I'm positive he's going to fail, which means that he's going to also take 27 points of damage. He is going to swing this way to get out of the flames. Same thing, he's going reckless. And he's attacking with advantage against Olin. Not quite sure why we just saw two different sets come out there, but that 17 is going to be a miss. Well, it looks like it rolled two different sets there, and I'm not sure why. We didn't see any no damage came off, so we're good. I'm not sure.
Damage on the miss, not the hit. For some reason.
Yeah. So this was the first one, and then I think it something stuttered and it rolled an additional set in there, and it moved it up above it, which it shouldn't have done. So we're good. There's no damage there. He misses. That is going to bring us to Alatar. So you are maintaining this wall of fire back there with your concentration, but they have both stepped forward out of the flames.
All right. So in that case, I will cease the wall of fire.
It dissipates.
I will focus on the southern gentleman. And go with Old Faithful.
Southern man.
How did you know he was from the Southern Abyss?
You still get advantage, I think.
Yeah, so he attacked. So that second one is gonna. So let me ask you this, Dig. You actually get advantage on both of those, and it's possible that you would crit. So if you want, I'll reverse that damage, erase both of those, and you can roll them both over.
Yes.
All right. So
That's
let me
Alt, right?
undo that. Do that. Yep. And it's the Alt key when you click on it. There you go. So that is going to be a hit, or 13. That's a much better strike. And then your second one with advantage as well. There you go.
Bang.
For another 10. So this smoking heap of Minotaur that has been burnt, he's been zapped by lightning, now takes 2 eldritch blasts directly to its horned head, blowing parts of its cranium and horns off of it as Digger calls upon his eldritch might to just absolutely spear this thing with his warlock energies. It drops dead beside Corey, blood leaking out again into the meditation pool around him. Any movement or bonus action, sir?
Alistar takes out his sword and thinks about carving off some brisket.
Nice. That's going to bring us to Moon. So, Moon, you were actually all the way across the room from the Minotaur that is trying to attack Severius, and then also has Castiel prone at its feet.
I am. I was just going to stab this guy and his head exploded. So instead, I will run across the room.
And this one did attack recklessly, so you get advantage. There's a crit, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm very disappointed with the sneak attack damage. It doesn't get doubled, right?
No, just the. We normally just double up the weapon damage. But just like that, this one is going to fall. So because we got a crit on that one, even though it had to be cleaned up with the dagger a little bit, I still think that's a pretty incredible rapier blow. So I would love to have you narrate this as you come running across the room, kind of leaping over the Duke, who is still mumbling and trying to remove the helm. You see this thing taking wild swings at Severius laughing in its face as the blows fall far and wide. And you're able to move in deftly. What does it look like?
So, Moon takes off crazy fast, because he can, climbs up the stairs in one bound, and leaps off the staircase, using both his rapier in one hand and his dagger in the other one, and just plunges the rapier into the neck and the dagger into the side, and then just slides down.
Excellent. It falls dead at your feet. And ladies and gentlemen, that is all of the Minotaurs dead. Let me make sure we've got... Yeah, everybody's in there, so you should all... Boom, 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 boom. So let me ask you guys this. As I put us back into... regular old vault music here. Technically, if I apply the experience points that you just earned to everybody, 233 of it are going to go to Castiel. If I remove him, it gets spread between the rest of you. Do you want me to just reduce it and have you guys earn a little more XP?
I mean, you're getting it anyway, right?
Yeah, if he's going to disappear, I don't want him taking from us.
All right. So we'll do that. Everybody's going to get 280 experience points for killing a squadron. I'm going to actually remove them off so that we can see some stuff here. So with that, Castiel is actually going to be able to get himself back to standing. He is in not great shape after taking that great axe. Side note, anybody else shit themselves a little bit when the Minotaur dropped Monk on the very first swing?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
pretty sure Andre said, "Oh shit, we're all gonna die."
Well, you guys you pulled out some of the big guns, and that wall of fire and the spirit guardians certainly helped to chew through things. And then with the calling lightning coming down, hitting multiple targets as well, there was not a need for a lot of single target damage there, guys. That was absolutely awesome.
I provided it when it was needed.
Yes, you played cleanup crew on 2 of the 5, so there is nothing wrong there. Your little dagger did enough work to drop 2 of these big bad boys.
The fun part about being a road is stealing all the kills.
If it wasn't a full-on pants shitting at the beginning of that, definitely a turtle head was poking out.
Yeah, when you see one of the big bad guys here crit for 52 on a single swing, that's even with temporary hit points. That's not good for a bunch of you. I mean, yeah. Alatar would have survived it because of the temporary hit points and still been up. Audrey would have been down. Castiel was down.
I would be down.
Monk, yeah, I was gonna say Moon would have been down. I think only Olin, Castiel, and Severius could all take that hit, but it wouldn't go well. It would be at death's door. Okay, so you guys have taken out the Minotaurs. They are floating dead at your feet. The portal on the wall still continues to swirl. You see those faces every now and then seem like they're looking out at you. You can hear screams and anger and rage from the other side. I'm gonna do this for Audrey because that was for the spell. If you want to turn on dancing lights again, we can certainly do so. But I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to leave. I'm going to take that off. There's a bunch of dead bodies floating around. You guys can move them out of your way. Let me put lights back on Audrey so she can see here. Boom. There we go. So the portal continues to spin. You can hear the mumblings of the Grand Duke as he is leaned up kind of against the steps and the wall. Injured from where he was gored and tossed by the charging Minotaur. What would you guys like to do?
I'm gonna try to see if I can remove the helm without touching it. Oh wait, hang on. Haha, I have a crowbar. I want to try to use a crowbar gently to remove the helm without.
I want to do some fine surgery with a crowbar.
I'm not gonna like try to pry it off. I'm just gonna try to use it to get it off.
So you want to try to see if you can pull it off. As you attempt to try to move it, it doesn't even wiggle. It is as if it is welded to his head.
Oh, neat. Well, I'll put my crowbar away then.
And he continues to repeat those phrases, the pain, how long will this go on? I will not bend my knee to you, Dark One.
Well, does anybody know how to either close a portal or remove a magic item?
Olin, do you know how to separate him from the crown, maybe?
Well, an axe placed at the neck probably would take care of that.
With him living, preferably.
Oh, well, that's a different story.
That's awfully dark from our cleric.
He does have a charisma of 8.
I was wondering about that. I don't know if any of the spells that I have. I mean, I'm thinking this helmet is an artifact that is probably not going to be affected by a 3rd level spell.
So, if you want to try to, let's say you want to try to inspect him and the helmet and try and see if you can figure things out, you can certainly try to do so. You could do, I'd say Arcana or Religion, if you want to try to see if you can learn more about what's going on with him here.
All right. Go with religion because it's supposedly a religious artifact from a god. Nope.
So you're trying to discern kind of what's happening. As much as you understand the things that he is saying, you're not really sure kind of what's going on with the helm. You don't know enough about it other than that it was the Helm of Torm and can provide some kind of prophetic vision. Anybody else want to try and take a look at him? Again, Arcana or Religion?
Yeah.
Oh, so close.
Okay. So with that, as you are looking over this, trying to figure out what is going on with the Grand Duke, this is absolutely the Helm of Torm. For some reason, the Duke has put it on and is unable to remove it. As you look at it, Gargoth begins to speak to you telepathically and lets you know the Duke is in a fight for his very life. There is a demon lord that has somehow made a connection with that helm, and it is trying to take over his mind and force him to his will. The Duke has been fighting it off, but is so very close to losing his way. He will soon be taken completely by that demon lord. Unless you can find a way to remove it, it might be kinder simply to kill the man.
I could try casting Dispel Magic on the helmet, I guess.
I wonder how he made it all the way over here. Maybe if he didn't, I guess maybe he just put it on here, but...
Alatar tells everybody what the shield just told him. And ask the shield.
That's 2 votes to kill him.
So is there, do you know of a way to take the, to disconnect or remove the helm?
Gargoth pauses for a moment, almost as if he doesn't really want to tell you. You feel him struggling against your control of him.
Brother, tell me. Come on, brother.
Come on now, brother. So he, as part of that struggle, you feel it. He kind of gives a little bit and takes a breath and tells you, the only way that you'll remove that helm is through a powerful ritual. It's going to require more than just this single cleric. If you know where to find other members of the faith, you might be able to save him, but it's going to require a very strong favor of a god.
The only other cleric is the only other cleric is back at the castle.
And Alatar tells
Perhaps
everyone.
we should. Thank you for informing me. I suppose we try to take him back and see if someone can help him there.
We can certainly do that if you guys want to try and make the trek back.
Can we tell what the deals with the portal?
If you want to do Arcana or Religion,
I'll stick with
or I would even allow Investigation. You could try to use some reasoning to figure out what's happening here if you wanted to. Yeah, so you guys are doing well there. So this is it's an interplanar portal. So kind of like how Traxagor was able to portal all of you guys to Elturel from the mortal realm. This is a portal from within the Hells to the Abyss. So you guys will remember demons come from the abyss, devils come from the 9 hells, and the devils and demons are constantly fighting each other in this eons-long war called the Blood War. You may remember when you crossed that bridge of Torm, you were able to see the chains going down to the river Styx and hear the sounds of battle, and far below there were 2 legions, one of demons, one of devils, fighting near the chains at the bottom. The demons have been trying to come up into the city to take control of it. The devils are trying to keep them from it because they're trying to claim Elturel to claim all of the souls and add them to their own army. This is a portal from the abyss that had to have been opened by an incredibly powerful demon. Chances are that the demons that have been coming through up out of the ossuary into the cemetery are coming from this portal.
And I'm presuming we cannot figure out a way to close it.
That is an excellent question. I don't know if you guys would be able to or not. I mean, you can try.
Close sesame.
Is this a time that I can use divine sense? Would that help with any intuitive evaluations?
So that divine sense of yours, if you use that, like it's you're gonna absolutely sense very strong evil from this portal and whatever is on the other side of it. In terms of recognizing powerful good, you actually get a minor resonance from the helm that is attached to the Duke. Whatever purpose it's being used for right now, whatever opening the helm gave Baphomet to attack the Duke, the helm is in of itself a powerful force for good. Because this is one of the first times you've used this, where you're actually close to Alatar, his shield pings red and smells like sulfur and brimstone.
Excellent.
It's almost like it glows a vile red, and your nose itches as you look at it.
I let everyone else know what I just sensed. Alatar's shield is almost as bad as the portal.
I said we should never have brought that thing with us.
Just as long as it doesn't escape the shield.
So as they're saying that, inside of Alatar's head, you hear, all I hear are the pitiful mewlings of people that fear true power. Heed them not, brother. Our pact still stands. For now.
Careful.
Did I not just help you lay low your enemies?
You did, but I don't take kindly to threats.
Can you not see my worth? Don't listen to these fools. Okay.
You should toss that shield into the portal.
It's an abyssal garbage can. So what do you guys want to do here? We've got the Duke. You can't get the helm off of his head. There's a portal open behind you guys, which means more stuff could probably come through if we're here too long. And
Owen's gonna try casting Dispel Magic on the portal.
Okay. I think this is one of the first times we've used Dispel Magic, haven't we?
Maybe.
I think it is. It's a DC of 10 plus the spell's level. So that was a level... you cast that as a level 3, correct?
Yes.
So it's a DC of 13.
so I have to make an ability check. Well, prior to actually casting that.
Yep.
Is it the portal spell level, or the?
No, it's his own. So it's for each spell of 4th level or higher on his target. So this is an interplanar portal. So it is above 4th level, but it's only one spell, right? So he doesn't have to. He's not going to make multiple ability checks. It's going to be one ability check against this interplanar portal, and that check is his spell casting ability.
So if I use guidance on myself first, that can affect it. So yeah, that's obviously he'd do that, use guidance, and then cast spell magic.
Okay, so you're gonna add a D4 to your ability check or saving throw. Where did I just go there? And in turn, so it's gonna be a DC of 13.
13. So it's
using your spell casting ability, which for you, I believe, is your wisdom, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
You're gonna. I don't see how you're gonna be able to possibly fuck this up. I think your spell casting modifier is +4. You've got another D4 you can add to that. Do you want to roll the D4 first, or you want to roll and see if you're going to need it?
Let's just go ahead and roll the wisdom check, I guess. Right?
Yep. Just a basic wisdom check.
That's how you mess it up.
Oh my god.
Shit. So.
When's that today?
Wow. So even if you added a full 4 from the D4, you still would only be a 9, which would be below the DC of 13 that it created. So you call upon Moradin to grant you guidance and cast Dispel Magic, and it literally fizzles as it reaches toward the portal. Whichever demon lord has summoned and created this portal here, his powers vastly outrank what you were able to pull in this dark place within the 9 hells, drawing upon your faith in Moradin.
Well, maybe the guy upstairs can do something about it.
So let me ask you this: what's our immediate plan? Are we gonna try and get Ravengard out of here? Are we gonna try and take him back to the High Hall and see if they have anybody there that can help with a ritual? Are we gonna try and cut the helm off of his head? What do you guys want to do with him? This is the guy you've been looking for, right? This is the life that you have to save. If he dies in Avernus, it could mean really bad things for Baldur's Gate because they'll have access to his soul. If he is turned by a demon or by a devil, that's also really bad for Baldur's Gate, because again, they're trying to do the same thing there that they did to Elturel as the leader. If they can turn him and get him to sell out all of the souls, that could also mean that Baldur's Gate could be in serious damage, or danger, excuse me. So you guys have been looking for him for most of the last 2 days since you came into Elturel. All of the battles, all of the fights, all of the enemies that you have left behind you have led to this point of finding this man, and he is in dire need of help getting this helm off of his head.
I say we take him back to the High Hall. Because the only thing we can do is kill him, and we establish that's a bad idea.
Yeah, part of what you know from Alatar being so successful with his Arcana is that he's experiencing psychic damage. Literally, these attacks from Baphomet are psychic in nature, so it's you don't see any physical damage, but you do see him slowly deteriorating, as if he's taking some kind of magical or psychic damage. Like there's no open wounds, but like you can see, it's almost as if like he loses a little bit of weight, he shrinks into himself, the lines in his face get deeper. This is very clearly damaging him, and it's because of that psychic battle he's going through.
We should take him back quickly.
Okay. So
real quick, if I can.
Yeah, absolutely.
While they were doing the dispel thing, can I like search all the bodies in the room, the guardsmen, the minotaurs, see if there's anything interesting?
Yeah. So the guardmen's all of the guardsmen are like the ones that were outside. They've all been kind of just torn to pieces. So there really isn't any armor and that kind of stuff there. It's almost as if after they were slain, the creatures decided to just dance on their corpses, tearing them apart with talons and fang, almost as if they wanted to desecrate their fallen enemies. The minotaurs, almost everything on them is burned, electrocuted, and scorched in some way, shape, or form. There are some great axes. If anybody wanted to take a great axe, all of them were carrying great axes. None of which are magical or any of that kind of thing in nature, but they are these giant, abyssal minotaur great axes if somebody wanted one.
What about the little bodies in the water? Are those there, or is that just...
Yeah, no, they are. So those are other torn up guardsmen that have kind of been left behind. So the other minotaur bodies are here. So again, you find like the great axes on them, but they're not. These are savage fighting beasts out of the abyss. They're not really carrying any coin or that kind of thing. What you do find as you kind of search through this guy over here, I will have you guys roll just so you go through all the corpses, is that this one has got a scroll case that is kind of soaked with water. If you pop it open, inside you find that there are 3 wet vellum scrolls. If you are careful with them or get them to dry out, you would probably be able to read them. But in looking at them, they look like they might be spell scrolls.
Cool. I'm gonna come over and ask, hey, would these be useful if we dried them out? To the people who cast magic.
So the spell scrolls, absolutely. So if you guys can get them dried out and actually read the text without smearing anything, these would be you have to identify what the spells are, but a spell scroll basically lets just about anybody cast those spells by reading them. So the idea is, rather than having to study the magic and learn it and be able to either do it by calling upon your god if you're a cleric, or studying it in a spell book like you would if you were a wizard, a spell scroll lets anybody. It's kind of like reading the IKEA instructions and putting together a wardrobe. You can read the spell scroll and cast whatever spell has been inscribed upon it.
When it comes to IKEA, though, reading and understanding the instructions are 2 very different things.
This is true. This is true. So if you want to take those with, I will make note of what they are, and when you guys get them dried out, we can do some identification and find out what you got there.
Might as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you guys want to take him back to Elturel. So let me do this here. We are going to kind of move ourselves along here a little bit. I am going to actually pull us back up to our map of Elturel. Rather than making you guys kind of make your way all the way back through the ossuary, back up into the Grand Cemetery, we will simply say that you come back up into the chapel. The Mezzoloths are still there, but Gideon is not. One of them, in Infernal, is able to communicate that their master is currently busy. But we'll be pleased to hear that you were able to find the Duke. They look at him, though. Clearly, he is not in good shape. Cassiel is limping with a series of wounds. The rest of you are covered in Minotaur gore, reeking of, blood and water and bone bits from the ossuary below.
If anybody speaks their language, make sure they know that there's an open portal downstairs that's going to continue spewing demons unless somebody can close it.
So both Olin and Severius can speak their language if they want to pass that on.
Yep.
Okay. It's hard to read the Mesoloth's, very alien-looking face, but there is a little bit of shock. He turns and quickly speaks to his compatriot and says, "We must inform the master. Something must be done to close the portal immediately." And he turns back to you and he says, "Thank you, dwarf. It is appreciated that you gave us the information. Take your friend and be gone from the cemetery. We will deal with what is left below." So, let's do this. I'd like the entire group to roll me a just roll a D20.
I've got a bard who's down.
Okay. We are just about at the end of our time here.
So if you want to roll for her.
Can do. So that's gonna be for Audrey. Let me do one for Castiel. 2. I can tell you guys are clicked on party travel because I see 3 party travel rolls.
Yep.
So let's see here. I think we're gonna just make it by the skin of our teeth there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually say that following the path that you guys came through to get here, because you cleared so much of the streets either in battle or by drawing things toward the cemetery, that you don't come across any roving parties as you make your way back up toward the High Keep. So I'm gonna let you guys make that jump. As you approach, you can see that there is still smoke and flames rising from the burning parts of the keep, as it is here before you. And I think that because we are at just about 11 o'clock midnight on the East Coast, that this is probably a pretty good place for us to call it a night.
Plus the bard's down.
Yes, plus the bard has fallen asleep. So we find ourselves back at the High Hall. We will enter into it in our next session and see if you guys can't find some help for Duke Ravengard.
Cool.
Nice job. Well done, everyone.
Very cool. Very cool, guys. I will say, our next session is going to probably see a change of venues. I don't think we've got a lot of time left in Elturel.
Time for a portal party.
Oh my.
Oh my. Oh my, oh my. All right, so that is our game night, guys. Everybody, thank you very much. I had a blast. I hope everybody else did as well. We'll be back in 2 weeks to pick this up and see what we can do to help the Duke. And if we can't find a way to try to save Elturel here a little bit.
Duke Earl.
And
Baldur's Gate.
I think we did a valiant effort of trying to kill off Gary's character as he asked. We were not successful, so Castiel is still with us. I think we're going to see if we can't provide him a happy ending and let him find the book that he's been searching for and helping the party move along. Maybe he can get his book and retire from the group successfully, having restored the book to his monkish order.
Cool.
Alrighty, I'm gonna get some sleep. Walk the
Good
dog.
night, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Have a good night.
Later.
Bye.